creep in to be something even worse. And I really hope that whoever's responsible, that this is nipped in the bud. We do have guarded diversion programs in Rafo. So the local kids are being sort of looked after, and we have a good bunch of young people in the town, and we have great scouts, and there's lots of really good work being done by those youth groups. And I'm not saying it's young people either. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
That's So we don't know until and it's impossible to point a finger at something that's done in the dark of night, and you wake up in the morning to find the whole place is all smashed up. So I hope that we are able to get to the bottom of this, and that somebody, some responsible person knows what happened and is contrite and will come forward and say, look, this happened and shouldn't have happened, and we're sorry, or they're sorry, whatever. So you can only hope for that to happen.
Exactly.
But
okay.
And certainly any other town, if it's something that shouldn't happen. It just should not happen.
It does really. I don't get it, but it does. We had another bizarre incident last week as well. Mary Hart, listen, thanks for your time. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And
thank you very much for helping us highlight this incident this time.
It's critical it happens. Okay, thank you so very much indeed. That is Mary Hart there. Awful thing to be done to a beautiful town like that. I was a grade A student, says the listener, throughout the year, but suffered from extreme exam anxiety and barely scraped through my exams. I shouldn't have been so anxious, as I had 2 successful careers in my 65 years and was only asked for exam results once in over 30 years of working. Yeah, indeed. Good morning, Greg. What it shows is how badly our kids are really taught at school when we have to fudge the figures for them all to pass. Your teacher can say what he wants. This is off the back of our Friday panel. But teachers aren't up to scratch these days. If they stuck to teaching core subjects, reading, writing, arithmetic, you're not there to be their friend or push an agenda or how you feel or think. Another caller says, I suspect the results of a referendum would show a clear majority against. Perhaps it would give us some leverage in migrant negotiations. These are the calls that we get quite frequently for a referendum on whether or not we should subscribe to the EU's migration policy. Saturday morning, I was going through the HSE action plan. Just from time to time, go through some of this stuff in case someone texts in or if it comes up in a subject matter or not. So I was going through the HSE's urgent and emergency care operation plan, just off the back of a lot of the calls that we get. And I recall back 2016, the target for everyone, I think, to be given a bed if they need one in an ED was 9 hours. And I was able to double check that. It's hard to find out precisely what it is. But anyway, the new, relatively new HSE action plan, urgent and emergency care action plan, it sets out a target for an inpatient bed for sick over 75s in the ED. Right, so I put it out on social media and asked people to guess what they believe it to be. So what would you say the target for an inpatient bed for a sick over 75s person is in EDs across this country? So that, just to be clear, that's someone who's over 75, that they've gone to the ED and they're sick enough to be admitted to hospital. What do you believe the weight should not exceed for that person? Well, and this is 2023 for you. No patient, this is a direct quote from the plan that I talk of, no patient aged over 75 will wait more than 24 hours in an emergency department for an inpatient bed. So that is how regressive things have become. So the target now is if you're 78 and you're so sick that you need a bed in the hospital, they say you shouldn't have to wait more than 24 hours. I really find that quite remarkable. Okay, now apologies if you are watching and you had an interruption to the broadcast. A button was hit that knocked us offline, but we're back again. So hopefully you were all able to reconnect. We're back broadcasting on YouTube, Highland Radio Ireland, or on Facebook, Highland Hub, Highland Radio News and Sport. Our next guest with us very shortly. Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook, and at highlandradio.com. The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
Hello, Rig Recdalamer na Coráide Éráide ina tógach san áramh tuairimí ón níos móna 10,000 duine ón bubal, geallsearbhóirí agus a gcuoine san áráil pobal agus dionach. Tá a tuairt cura i ríis de gcuoine a rá conas gur féidirling taucí inmhúnithe áirithiú. Tá ar geisneoir ar lína ar oscailt agus tóg for na freagarí sin san áramh inar bland leanúna chuníomh don Éráid. Cuirdig Coráide Éráide 23 agus lín ar survey ar lína chun do chuairimí a choranúil. Tá go chuat ó Rialtas na Héireann.
If you're tired and struggling to put a spring in your step, discover the power of Revive Active at your local Brennan's Pharmacy. Revive Active is an award-winning super supplement containing 26 active ingredients, including vitamin C, D and zinc, which support your immune system, all in one handy daily sachet. Made for busy, stressful lives, it's the convenient way to put back what life takes out. Enrich your life with the Revive Active from brennanspharmacy.com. We're here for you.
Cuireann cervical check scag hostal Curvax ar fáil siarnáisce de bhná idir 25 agus 65 bliain d'aois. Tá scag hostal Curvax le haith HPV ar cheann na bailí is fearr leis an risca a laidú go dúchach an ailte Curvax ar tamachchanse. Má tá se nám dat scag hostal Curvax a áil, déan cunne iniu. Le hólas a áil agus lena chinntu go bhfuil tú ar an glór, teigeigh hse.ie/cervical check. Ó aimimenacht na Seirbhíse Sláinte.
How we use electricity can be smarter, cleaner and greener. At Electric Ireland, we can help guide you there. You're looking up. You see, our new Net Zero Hub has all you need to know about smart meter plans, home EV charging, solar panels and much more. Making your usage clearer, your trips greener, your home cozier and your world brighter. Find our Net Zero Hub at electricireland.ie.
Okay, you're very welcome back to the 9 till noon show. We're joined on the programme now by Sinn Féin Deputy Rory O'Muraku. Good morning to you, Rory. Thank you very much for your time today.
Morning, Greg.
Right, now you are concerned that, or deeply worried, I think you were quoted as saying, that brave Irish soldier murdered in Lebanon, our own Sean Rooney, will not get justice. What has exacerbated your concerns there?
Well, in reply to a question I had put to the Minister for Defence to the Taoiseach, Micheál Martin, just in relation to, and in fairness to Micheál Martin, he has said he would leave no stone unturned. That this state would do absolutely everything in relation to delivering, justice for Sean Rooney. Obviously, here, your own people in Donegal and particularly people in my hometown of Dundalk have a very close affinity with Sean Rooney, obviously his comrades. And his family and many others are watching this absolutely intently. And what we're talking about, I suppose, is the fact on the 14th of July, you had the first indictment hearing and you had 6 defendants who did not present themselves, and then the case was postponed until the 30th of August. Now, I accept that there can't be a huge level of government commentary in relation to that court proceedings are ongoing. I know that this is being watched by the embassy in Cairo as lead, and also the consulate in Beirut, and that there has been obviously some element of legal support that has been engaged there as well, which is absolutely necessary. But we are incredibly worried, given the part of the world that it is. You know what I mean? And also with the passing of time, we just need to make sure that absolutely everything is done. Now, as I say, the positive parts in my reply from Micheál Martin were the fact that he said absolutely everything would be done. So we just need to ensure that that is the case. There is also the ongoing issues that there will have to be the Garda investigation, and we know that UNIFIL also carried out its own investigation. We need to make sure that whatever learnings need to be learnt as regards safety, security, protocols, procedures, that all that is absolutely dealt with. And I have also called for the fact that there needs to be continued engagement with the family. And I know that Micheál Martin had met with Sean's mother, Natasha, a number of times, and we just need to make sure that the family are kept fully abreast in relation to where the situation are. And from their point of view, obviously, they want to know absolutely everything. They want to ensure that there is justice for their son, and also that, as I say, if there are things that need to be learned from a point of view of securing our troops who are doing absolutely a vital, service in relation to peacekeeping, and we all know the importance of it. Unfortunately, with the death of Sean Rooney, we learned just the huge sacrifice that sometimes has to be made in relation to this, but we need to make sure that we do absolutely everything to avoid any future tragedy, as much as that can possibly be done. But again, I am very worried at this point in time, and I just want to make sure that I can play whatever small part I can in relation to the fact that we maintain the pressure and that the government engages with the Lebanese authorities and everything. And again, we want fair trials, we want absolute justice, but we just want to make sure, and to use the Taoiseach's own words, that no stone is left unturned.
Yeah, but what does that look like, I wonder? Because, I mean, what can we do? People not turning up to court, you know what I mean, those suspected of having involvement in this. I mean, what does that look like when Micheál Martin gives you that commitment? What pressure can be exerted? What can be done to try and get justice? It might be, in a way, we can sort of see the pathway to trying to ensure something like this, as best as can be possible, avoided into the future. But in terms of getting justice, getting those responsible before the courts, what can actually be done?
Well, look, there obviously is a Lebanese judicial system. It's obviously in operation at this point in time. Some of this will become very clear very quickly, in the sense the postponement date was till August 30th, so we will very, very soon see what is happening. I have no doubt that, as I say, while the government might be somewhat circumspect in relation to the commentary it's going to make around all of this, I would like to believe, and I do believe, that there is engagement at all level just to ensure that all pressure is brought to bear, just to make sure that we have an absolute, as I say, frank and fair and decent judicial proceedings, and just we ensure that everything is done from a point of view of, as I say, a fair trial. But obviously we are looking for the fact that there has to be accountability in relation to what was an absolutely heinous crime, and that we lost a very young peacekeeper, as I say, that will be missed not only by his family but by communities, particularly in Donegal and in Dundalk, and by a family that is going to be deeply hurt.
Yeah, and won't want him to be forgotten. Won't want.
No, not in any way, really, shape, or form.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
No. Of course, we owe it to the memory. We need to recognise the huge sacrifice that he has made, and we're talking about a family that has had a huge commitment to the Defence Forces over many years. Mm-hmm. So look, they deserve that. Anybody who has done the colours and has put themselves in the line of fire in relation to peacekeeping, and we know the long tradition of Irish peacekeeping and how Irish peacekeepers are seen, but we need to make sure that we recognise their commitment, their sacrifice, and that we have their back. And there is an absolute obligation on Micheál Martin and the wider government just to make sure that all can be done from a point of view, as I say, of the 2 points of making sure that we see justice for Sean Rooney, but beyond that, that we learn anything that needs to be learned in relation to whether we're talking about protocols, procedures, and just operations in general from a peacekeeping point of view. Obviously, that absolute best practice is followed, and that we ensure that we keep our people as safe as is possible, while accepting we are talking about something that is incredibly dangerous.
For sure. Okay, Rory, thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it. Okay, now, sorry, that was, I should thank Deputy Rory O'Moroku of Sinn Féin there. 086 60 25,000 WhatsApp and texts to that number, of course. Hi, Greg. What's the purpose of having the Leaving Cert when the end result is that when you graduate from university and the unofficial but really official body language is you must emigrate because Ireland wants to steal individuals from third world countries that really need them at home. So Ireland could pay everyone here the lowest wages possible and then feel proud of themselves. Can anyone dare think of the long-term societal damage? Hi, Greg. If this housing refurbishment grant money was used by the government to repair these homes and rent them to those who really need them, this was off the back of a conversation we had with a councillor on Friday, Patrick McGowan, who says, look, there's 50 up to 70,000 euro available for refurbishing derelict properties, and the scope's been widened and what have you, and more people should be applying for it. There's been very few drawdowns of this grant across the country, but they may start coming through. Then we got a sort of sense from people that says that's grand. If you've got money, you might be able to avail of this money, but there are some that feel that if you are struggling to get on the ladder, that you might not be able to get a mortgage on a property that you're waiting to draw down this grant on, if that makes sense. A caller says the reason people are not taking up the property incentive is because the abandoned and derelict houses, especially in my area, are owned by the same person. Developers will not get these grants. Another, why don't they give a grant or money for a person to buy a wee modular home for, say, one person, or even a mobile home, and let these people pay back the council rent or let them buy it out? Not a bad idea, because those wee houses now are something else, aren't they? Johnny McCollum is a member of Letterkenny Heritage Group and is wondering if any of you can help track someone down. Good morning to you, Johnny.
Good morning, Greg.
How are you getting on? Now, how can the people help? Who are you looking for?
Well, in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, there was a nurse in Letterkenny, and she was a midwife as well. And her name was Nurse Harkin, and she lived in Lower Main Street. And our Heritage Group were looking for a photograph of her, and we do wall murals around the town. So if we could get a photograph of her, we would do a wall mural of her up in Council Car Park in Century Hill, Greg. But we just cannot find a photograph.
And why is it so hard to track it down, do you think?
I don't know. I remember just a wee bit about her, and the people in the town told me that she used to go around the bicycle all the time. Mm. And they said when Letterkenny was smaller then, she had delivered half of Letterkenny people. Wow. Yeah, that's what people around the town can still tell me, that people that who have thought had a photograph, Greg. And that's what they told me, like.
Okay, so recap then. When would she have been, give us the years that she was around doing the work that she was doing to help try and trigger memories again there, Johnny?
Yeah, she would have been in the 40s, 50s and the 60s. And she always had a wee bicycle with her, and she would have a wee case with her, like. Mm-hmm.
So very distinctive. But people of that time would know precisely who we're talking about. We're just hoping that one of them snapped her, and maybe if that picture is around the house or something, that they make it available.
Yeah, there is plenty of people around the town know of her, like, and a lot of people told me that she delivered them and all, like. Mm. But to get a photograph, that's another one, you know.
Okay, well, listen, there's bound to be one out there. It's just hopefully the right ears are reached in this conversation. As I say, it's a very distinctive description. So if someone has it, they'll know exactly what we're talking about. Johnny, if we get anything, we shall pass it on to you. And as I say, it's all for a really good cause, because it's about making a wall memorial in tribute to her. So
that's right.
It would be a really nice story if one of those pictures could be obtained, and even
it'd be lovely. Yeah.
All right, Johnny, you never know, and unless we ask, I suppose we don't know, do we?
No.
And also, if she said,
thanks very much.
And also, Johnny, sorry, I should have mentioned, maybe her own relations, someone who is related to her, may be still around and listening. So well, no, you never know.
I don't think she has got any relations in Letterkenny.
We shall see. Johnny McCollum, thank you very much indeed. He's the member of Letterkenny Heritage Group. If you can help, get in touch with us, 086 60 25,000, and we'll pass it on. My daughter has a really bad outbreak of psoriasis. It's got to the stage now where she will not leave the house. She's tried all the consultants, all the medications, oceans and potions, but nothing has worked. Has anyone tried anything that really worked? Please help a very distressed 19-year-old. If you can help us, we will pass it on. A caller says, I'd welcome a referendum on the new EU migration deal. Our country and society will change forever because of this deal, so a mandate from the Irish citizens should be mandatory. This is primarily what democracy is about, giving the people a say. And how might it change from where it is now? Let me know. 086 60 25 000. What are your concerns about it? What do you believe that will change that worries you? Okay, let's take a break for the news and obituary notices, and we'll be back afterwards.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from €40,000 to €600,000 with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
Barbecue rhymes with Ballymaloo. Coincidence? Don't think so. Because you can't think of a barbecue, the burgers, the bangers, the steak and the grilled veggies, without thinking of a delicious dollop of our legendary relish too. Bring taste to the table with Ballymaloo relish.
There's bingo every Monday night at Halfway House Bingo Burnfoot. Doors open at 7:30 with eyes down at 8:30. €2,500 must go. The snowball is now €1,400 on 45 numbers or less. If you're not in, you can't win. That's Halfway House Bingo tonight at 8:30.
Husqvarna, one of the biggest names in construction worldwide, is hosting a special Products Roadshow this Thursday the 31st at Watson Hire in Letterkenny. See the full range of unique products designed to make construction customers more productive and successful. With goodie bags, special offers and a big draw on the day for a new Husqvarna concrete saw worth €900. Don't miss the Husqvarna Construction Products Roadshow this Thursday the 31st from 10:30 to 3:30 at Watson Hire, Letterkenny.
Your career starts with Northwest Regional College. Come along to your local Derry, Londonderry, Strabane or Limavady campus to apply for a course or confirm your place. Choose from our wide range of apprenticeships, level 3 diplomas, foundation degrees and so much more. Visit nwrc.ac.uk/results. Northwest Regional College.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
Have you heard about Charlie's chips? They're made from potatoes that are carefully selected, then peeled, cut, and like everything else at Charlie's in Letterkenny, cooked to order. That's why they taste so good. From 12 right through to 8 in the evening, Charlie's at Pierce Road, Letterkenny offer an extensive menu that includes a great selection of gluten-free options, all available to sit in or take away. The next time the hunger hits, pull into Charlie's.
Fancy a game of bingo? Play at Strand Bingo, Strand Road, open 7 days a week. Free bus every Tuesday and Thursday from Clonmany, stopping at Carndunna, Buncrana and Fawn. Call Neil on 086 7307 017 to book your place. Play Tuesdays from just £5 for 6 chances to win £300. Or Thursday Stairway to 7, 6 chances to win £700. Check out boyledbingoclubs.com or download our app for more info.
All you need to make your house a home at Patterson's The Hall Lifford. From garden furniture to kitchens, sofas and dining sets, all under one roof. Need a new mattress? Why not visit our sleep centre on the first floor? With a large range of quality beds and mattresses in stock and ready for collection or delivery. Relax in our coffee shop serving hot lunches daily. Open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Patterson's Kitchens and Interiors, The Hall Lifford.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, approaching 2 minutes past 10. Donald Kavanagh at the Highland Radio News Desk. Gardaí said traffic is moving normally again following a collision on the Remilton Road outside Letterkenny earlier this morning, close to the junction with the Golf Course Road. No serious injuries have been reported. Uisce Éireann is investigating reports of a water outage in northern Inishowen. Supply disruptions are being reported in the Carrera Road and surrounding areas of Carndunna. The first osprey bird chicks from a new National Parks and Wildlife Service programme were introduced into the wild at the weekend. 50 chicks are being brought into the country over the next 5 years. The aim is to establish a breeding colony in the Republic. There's already breeding taking place in Fermanagh. Ospreys from there have already been spotted in Donegal. Minister of State Malcolm Noonan says the release of these chicks is a significant step toward what he hopes will be their permanent return to this country.
A successful breeding of a pair of ospreys in Northern Ireland, I think the reintroduction programme here in the Republic is really going to be very, very important and return these birds to Irish skies for the first time in over 200 years. Ospreys are different. They don't remain in the country. They migrate down to equatorial Africa and then return again. Lots of challenges along the way, and what we're trying to do is make the conditions right for them.
The chair of Refoe Community Action has hit out at an incident of vandalism in the town on Saturday night. The destruction, which included broken branches and depotted flower beds, has been reported to Gardaí. On today's 9 till noon show, Mary Hart said, at a time when a lot of regeneration money is being invested into Refoe, it's disheartening to say the least when incidents like this occur.
Overnight on Saturday, a group or one or several bandos ripped up the flowers out of the pots and pulled off branches from the trees. So the tiny towns who clean the town every morning came along, and this is what they were faced with. It's the first time that this has happened to this extent. We have been working for the last 2 years very hard in the town under the Town and Village Renewal Programme to try and enhance the look of the town.
A junior transport minister says people will still be able to pay for their NCT using cash. Minister of State Jack Chambers has hit out at NCT Ireland for the recent announcement that their centres are going cashless. He said it's not been agreed, nor is it happening. NCT Ireland, which is run by Applus, faced a backlash from public and politicians in recent days after announcing on social media that they were saying goodbye to cash. A smartphone levy has been proposed to replace the current TV licence. There has been a sharp decrease in households paying the €160 licence fee in the wake of the payments scandal at RTE. It's reported the state broadcaster could require a bailout of up to €35 million as part of next year's budget. Associate Professor of Politics at DCU, Ono Malley, says the majority of people are now consuming news and videos on their mobiles.
And a lot of the reason I kind of suggest a smartphone levy is because that's how we consume it. It's also really easy and quick and cheap to collect. The government just tells the companies that if you add €3 or €4 onto your bill per month, or you take €3 or €4 away from your pay-as-you-go credit per month.
There are doubts this morning as to whether November's planned Women in the Home referendum will go ahead. The government is said to be nervous about the campaign possibly being dominated by debates about the definition of the family and gender issues. There are also differing views about the wording for a replacement article. Last month, Taoiseach Leo Varadkar promised the referendum would go ahead in November. That was echoed by the Housing Minister, Darragh O'Brien, just last week. Donegal County Council has been ranked 6th in electrical vehicle transition among local authorities across the country. New analysis has been unveiled today by Geotab, a global leader in connected transportation solutions. Donegal County Council has a fleet of 68 vehicles, 4 of which are electrified. That's a total of 6%. However, the council fares better in the use of telematics, which help vehicles reduce their carbon footprint. The system is used in 54 of the council's vehicles. And Pinergy, the energy supplier, has today announced a second decrease this year to its standard residential electricity charge. That's effective from the beginning of next month. I beg your pardon. Electricity bills for customers will drop by 9.5%, the second time the company has dropped its prices this year. Business journalist Jonathan Healy says there'll be pressure on other suppliers to follow suit.
They come into effect now from the 1st of October. It's about a 9.5% decrease to the typical household cost, about €220 per annum.
Weather forecast for this Monday morning: cloudy with some sunny spells and well-scattered showers. This afternoon the showers will become more isolated, with more hazy sunny spells breaking through for a time. However, it'll turn cloudier again later, with outbreaks of rain and drizzles following. Top temperatures today 16 to 18 degrees Celsius, light to moderate westerly breezes. That's Highland Radio News, back with headlines at 11 o'clock. Good morning.
The obituary notices this Monday morning, August 28th. The death has occurred of Patrick Murray, Liscooley Villas, Castlefin, and formerly of Gorton South, Castlefin. Funeral from Liscooley Villas at 10:15 a.m. tomorrow morning, going to St Patrick's Church, Murlog and Lifford. Burial immediately afterwards in adjoining cemetery. Family flowers only, please. Donation in lieu of flowers, please, to Donegal Hospice or care of Kennedy's Undertakers in Castlefin. Family time only from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. The death has occurred of Bridget Holmes, née Byrne, of Munglass, Newton Cunningham. Funeral from her late residence today, going to All Saints Church, Newton Cunningham, for 11 a.m. Requiem Mass, followed by interment in the adjoining cemetery. Funeral Mass can be viewed on churchservices.tv. Family time, please, on the morning of the funeral. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu of flowers to St Vincent de Paul Society, Newton Cunningham. Care of any family member or Charlie McClafferty Funeral Directors. The death has occurred of Stefan Toth, 34, Strach Evin, Mullindrate, Stranorler, and formerly Bratislava, Slovakia. Funeral leaving his late residence today at 10:30 a.m. for Requiem Mass in the Church of Mary Immaculate, Stranorler, at 11 a.m. Interment afterwards in Drumbo Cemetery. The Requiem Mass will be streamed live via the parish webcam at churchservices.tv. The house and funeral is private to family and close friends only, please. The death has taken place of Dr. John Gallagher, 52 Ernie Road, Strabane, and formerly of Arranmore Island. Requiem Mass in St Mary's Church, Mailmount, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Interment afterwards in Strabane Cemetery. Donations in lieu of flowers, please, to Mary Curie, care of Quigley Funeral Directors, 1A Newton Place, Strabane. The house is strictly private to family and friends only. The Requiem Mass can be viewed live via the parish webcam. The death has taken place in Tipton, Birmingham, England, of Anthony Tony Gibbons, formerly Minahaw, Clonmany. Funeral leaving from his sister's residence this morning at 10:40 a.m, going to St Mary's Church, Clonmany, for Requiem Mass at 11 a.m, with burial afterwards in the new cemetery. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to St Columkill Village, care of any family member or Comiskey Funeral Directors. House private, please, from 11 p.m. until 10 a.m. Funeral Mass can be viewed live on churchservices.tv. The death has occurred of Seamus McElwee, Macalla, Currian, Fintown, County Donegal. Family time on the morning of the funeral. Requiem Mass at 11 a.m. this morning in St Columkill's Chapel, Fintown, with burial afterwards in the adjoining churchyard. The Mass can be streamed live via the parish Facebook page. For more details, including any family health guidelines for wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
What can you bag at Maxall? Well, there's fuel, of course, rows of coffee, crisps, bars, brekkie rolls, chicken fillet rolls, bread, cornflakes, Rice Krispies, oats, milk, apples, oranges, bananas, ham, cheese, kids' lunches, pasta, rice, chopped tomatoes, spaghetti hoops, beans, tuna, pizza, rashers, sausages, mayonnaise, Ben & Jerry's, goodies, firelogs, cozy night in, tea bags, orange juice, cookies, biscuits, toothpaste, toilet roll, bin bags, cake, card, mum's birthday, chewing gum, jam, soup, shampoo, still water, sparkling water. See? You'll find bags more at Maxall. Oh, and dog food.
You're very welcome back to the 9 till noon show. Good morning if you're just after joining us. Great to have you on board. Just some comments in reaction to the vandalism in Rafoa. Caller says, when catching these people, they should personally be made fix it wearing a jacket saying, I'm a vandal. Maybe it would send out a good message to others. Another caller says, and Stiller, prescription only. Husband tried many things, but this really works for his psoriasis. And Stiller. Another, I had skin problems, gave up with doctors, used tea tree cream and roost tox cream mixed together. It worked for me. Another organic castor oil for that lady with psoriasis. Yeah, indeed. Off the back of the commentary about the hospital situation, not just our own local hospital, but clearly hospitals right across the country, had a few messages in, and I just want to read a couple of those before we take a break. Hi, Greg. My partner has went into Letterkenny Hospital on the 18th of July. She couldn't walk and her speech was all slurred and in very bad shape. They did CT scans and 2 MRI scans. They came back and said they thought it was MS. The neurology staff were off on annual leave, so she had to be transferred to Sligo, where she was on a steroid drip for a week to take her back to some kind of normality. They'd done a lumbar puncture on her too and said they're waiting on results back. They are 90% sure it's MS, but are waiting on results. They let her back home 2 weeks ago now and gave her steroid tablets for a week to wean off. She's got no better whatsoever. She can't even go for a shower some days because she just hasn't the energy. I've been off work for the last 6 weeks because we have a 9-month-old baby. Sligo was supposed to ring her when the steroids finished, but they didn't. And I've been trying the last 4 days to contact them, but can't. I'm due back at work now and have rent and all to pay, and my partner is in no shape to look after the baby. We don't know what to do. Sligo is a slack. It was a disgrace she was let out in the first place because she couldn't even walk in a straight line. And that's a young family there with an awful situation that they're going through. Hi, Greg. I heard you mention the issues in the hospital. I have a disc that needs surgery. I had an MRI in January 2022 and then again in May 2023. The disc is now at the point I can't walk and haven't been able to since January 2023. I was in hospital for 10 days. I had a spinal epidural, which never worked. I had to get my doctor to send an urgent referral as they never sent a follow-up appointment. I was in an appointment on Wednesday, which I myself made, ringing the doctor's secretary non-stop to have another procedure, which hasn't worked. The surgeon knew that as it should have worked immediately. I have a disc at L4, L5, S1. I've been told if my bladder or bowels go to ring 999, as that's the stage, I can become paralysed on one side. I haven't been able to walk, as I said, since January, and they know this. I'm so angry. I really feel like saying to them, if someone came in with a broken leg, you wouldn't send them home without fixing it. It's disgusting the way I've been treated, and I don't know when they will see me next. If you have an injury that's made you immobile for 8 months, there should be something to help, not just send me home with morphine and wait till the worst happens before doing something about it. My back is so sore, I can't even walk around Asda with crutches. The pain is so bad, and with mental health issues, it's just really impacting my mental health as I just lay in my bed every day to ease the pain. It's absolutely terrible to be treated so badly. That's just 2 listeners' experiences of the health system currently, in both 2 absolutely shocking cases. Hi, can you get some discussion around the ATU providing primary school teaching degrees? Dublin has had the monopoly long enough, and in today's age of tech, ATU needs to provide an option for students in the Northwest to save hours commuting and thousands on rent and living away from home. Thank you. Now, I don't know, if I'm honest, how courses become available or what courses become available or recognised where. But yes, obviously it would be fantastic for those wishing to study primary school teaching if they were able to do it more locally. But let me see. Caller asks the question, sometimes Donegal is known as Tyrconnell. Does this exclude Inishowen? It kind of does. It doesn't cover all of Donegal and can be quite controversial as well. A caller says it makes him sick listening to people criticising our health service. He's experienced the health service in other countries with terrible reports, including the States, where he was sent away because he didn't have health insurance, and in Scotland, where he waited all day without anyone even asking who he was. Any experience he has had here has been excellent, and that is really good. And just to be very clear, in highlighting people's cases and trying to get resolution for them and helping them, it's a given that the majority of people have an acceptable experience in the health service, particularly if you can go in there, get checked and get home safely. Of course, the majority do, but there are a lot of people. Just to put it to you like this, listener, I can't remember what the exact figure is off the top of my head. I think it was 1,200 between the start of this year and May. and I'll just double check it's not the start of last year, but anyway, since the start of this year and May, 1,259 people left Letterkenny University Hospital's emergency department before their treatment was complete. So 1,259 people just said, right, this isn't moving, or I'm not getting any satisfaction here, and left. That is a huge number. So whilst we accept that clearly, obviously, there are people, particularly the staff and most of the doctors and consultants, work really, really hard to do their best. They aren't supported by CELTA, the HSE, in doing that work. We have to discuss that for them, for patients. But of course, we do recognise, and I myself know, that often people have a very positive experience, but we can't, just because that happens, ignore people's horrendous experience too, I've just read right now. Okay, back with more shortly.
The county's #1 talk show, The 9 till Noon Show on Highland Radio.
It's time for NCBI Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Monday, the 28th of August. You're playing on the green sheet. The reference number is S11. It's game number 35. The numbers are 63, 23, 67, 85, 83, 30, 28, 81, 62, and finally 6. Phone your claim to 9104833 before 8 tonight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your NCBI bingo information at highlandradio.com.
New this week at Home Store and More. All painting and DIY accessories are all half price. But better hurry, because when all the half price painting and DIY accessories are gone, they're gone. Also, all home office desks and chairs are still all half price. But when all the half price home office desks and chairs are gone, they're definitely gone. Drop by your local Home Store and More, or visit us online at homestoreandmore.ie. New store now open in Frascati Centre, Blackrock, Dublin. Home Store and More. A happy home.
Hi, Paddy here at Shane Conley Cars in Donegal Town. Are you looking to upgrade your car? With Shane Conley Cars, you'll find makes and models for every budget. Great finance options, and we also accept trade-ins. Check out ShaneConleyCars.com or call in to us at Shane Conley Cars from Lonaher Road, Donegal Town.
With electrified finance rates available exclusively at iMotors. Find out how affordable our used electrical vehicles are with finance rates from 3.9% on all used electrical vehicles at iMotors. Low finance, no fuel bills. Doesn't it sound like the perfect second car for your household? Call in to Letterkenny or Malin to find out more or visit imotors.ie.
The 9 till Noon Show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate holiday loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
You're very welcome back to the programme. Now, Donegal Down Syndrome Association, with support from Down Syndrome Ireland, are exploring possibilities for providing employment opportunities for adults with Down syndrome. And they're holding an information session in the Station House, Letterkenny, on Thursday, September 7th. It's from 10:30am to 12:30pm. Employment specialists from Down Syndrome Ireland will be in attendance. And we're going to talk about this now with a number of guests. I'll say good morning first to Aoife Gaffney, who's Head of Employment with Down Syndrome Ireland. Good morning to you, Aoife.
Good morning, Greg. Thanks a million for having us here today.
No, it's our pleasure. So what is the purpose then of this information session, and who do you want to see there?
I suppose just to give a bit of background, Greg, we developed our employment program back in 2018, and back then we would have estimated that there was only 5% of adults with Down syndrome in employment across the country. A lot of that was voluntary work. There was very little meaningful paid work in people's local communities. Since then, we have raised that number now to 12%, but we still, have a lot of work to do. So what we want to do in Donegal on the 7th of September is really provide information and awareness to families, to people with Down syndrome, but also to show employers the capabilities of people with Down syndrome in the workplace and to really get them on board. We've got a structured program in place. We can provide support to employers and to our members with Down syndrome too. So we really just want to, I suppose, pull it all together and get people with Down syndrome into the workplace.
And that's it. It's joining the dots. The pieces are there.
It is, absolutely. The pieces are there. We've seen huge success. You know, we've supported, we're nearly at 200 people now that we've supported over the last number of years. We've got some really good partnerships like Specsavers, Lidl. And what we're really trying to do with big employers like the likes of Specsavers and Lidl is we're trying to get employment in people's local community, that people don't have to travel maybe 40 minutes to work, that they can go down the road and they can work, you know, with people in their community, people that they know, and also in jobs that they want to do, that they have an interest in.
You mentioned Specsavers. Shannon Broderick is Director of Specsavers in Donegal Town. Good morning, Shannon.
Good morning, folks. How are you?
Good to have you with us. Now, you employ Marie in your business. What has been your experience?
It's actually, Aoife's really hit the nail on the head. I want to echo, we've had a lot of support through Down Syndrome Ireland for the recruitment process. We didn't really know what lay ahead of us in terms of the recruitment process, the interview process, and they supported us greatly for that. We've had somebody on hand for guidance and support after we hired Marie as well. So Joanne Dawson was our point of contact, and we've been able to liaise with her throughout the process. If we had any questions or anything we were unsure of, we always had somebody to fall back to. The experience has been lovely. Marie started with us 18 months ago, and she comes in, big smiley face every day, happy to work. She's been a great addition to the team. We would hire locally anyway, so it's been lovely to have someone local like Marie to come in and join us. So she actually recognises people that comes in, and people recognise her from day workshops. So it is been seen to be local. We are local. And it's lovely to see her being able to embrace the role, her different tasks. So she'd meet and greet our customers, would bring them to the area in the store they need to be. She'd sanitise frames, and then a lot of admin and just general housekeeping work for us. So she's been a great addition and great crack, I have to say. She's been good fun.
And Shannon, it's something that you want to do. Why wouldn't a business want to do that? But it's having the supports to give you the confidence in that area. You know, even if it's not, certain things aren't required or whatever, it's just to know that everything's been done correctly.
Yeah, I think if everybody's open and honest about what we can offer, Marie can be expected of the role, and then Down Syndrome Ireland could support us in how we make it happen. I think if once the lines of communication are open between everybody, there's absolutely no reason it can't work.
Yeah, okay. Well, Shannon, thank you so much for your time this morning. I really do appreciate it. And is that sort of the typical feedback, not there's such a thing as typical feedback, but what you might expect to hear, Aoife?
Absolutely. I mean, really, the feedback has been just so positive. You know, the change that somebody with Down syndrome can bring to the workplace. You know, people look forward to that person coming in. We've heard from other Specsavers stores that customers, when the person with Down syndrome is not there on a given day, if it's not their day for work, customers actually look for that person. Definitely, there's an increase in staff morale. I think it stops us. You know, we're so tied up in busy life and busy work. It gives us an opportunity to stop and actually slow down a little bit and think, you know, when welcoming this person with Down syndrome into the workplace. We have had a very, very few issues come up in the workplace, maybe simple things like timekeeping or explaining, you know, unwritten rules and things like that. But 99% of the feedback has been really, really positive, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and as well, you would have those experiences often with anyone who might be working. Okay, stay with us if you don't mind, because we've two guests in studio with us as well. I want to say good morning first to Anna Hennessy. Anna, how are you getting on? How are you keeping?
I am good, Greg. Thank you.
It's very good to have you with us. Right, Anna, where do you work?
I work in the leisure centre on the Mondays. Mm-hmm. I also work in the community centre in Letterkenny, and I also work, well, it's like a summer job, but I work in the coffee dock, like a wee summer job.
Is that in Dunfanaghy that you're working, is it?
Yeah, it's near the beach, you know. It's we have a holiday house down in Dunfanaghy in Portnabar. It's just it's near the beach, and I really enjoyed working down there.
I think it sounds to me like you like working with people, the public, do you?
I do indeed.
Yeah, okay. And you like to be busy, obviously, because you don't have much spare time.
I know. We have a parent who teach us to make coffees, and I make like cappuccinos, lattes, and flat whites, and everything. And I'm good with customers. I get paid, and I get more independent as well. So I'm getting there. You know, I'm really good with everyone, and I don't want to be bored. I just want to do some work, and I'm really enjoying it.
And how long have you been out working, Anna?
Would you mind repeat the question?
No, of course not. Like, did you start working recently? Have you always been working in different places?
Well, Greg,
I'll come back to you. Is that okay in that question? Is that all right? If you don't mind. So I want to say hello to Daniel as well. And I'll come back
thank you.
No problem. Daniel, you work in Max Mays.
Yes, definitely, yes.
Yeah, and how long have you been working there now?
I worked last year.
And you enjoy it?
I love it, this, yeah.
Okay, and what's your experience been like there?
I like the boss, the Roden and Roden. They helping me do my checklist. The checklist will tell me what to do key boxes and liveries, mopping, everything I do.
Yeah, and it's a very busy place that you work
I
to.
say it is
that what you like about it?
Yeah, I love everything in Max Mays or Max Deli. I love it in there.
Yeah, okay. And it's far better for you to be working than sitting at home. I mean, that's obvious, isn't it?
Kind of, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay. And how many days do you work there?
21 hours and Monday to Friday.
Wow, so you're busy as well, okay.
Yeah.
And you're well looked after as well as you looking after everyone else well?
Yeah, definitely will, yes.
All
definitely.
Right, very good. And the food's lovely too on your break?
The food is real nice there.
Yes, okay. Do you have a favourite thing to eat, Dan?
I like the wrap. The wraps are my favourite.
Yeah, I agree. What's it like working in the Aura, Anna? That's the leisure centre, isn't it?
Yes, and I'm actually working today, if you won't believe, after this.
Very good.
Yeah, so I also do my work experience in the Aura Leisure Centre in Letterkenny. I love this work too. I do some cleaning and tidying and help get ready for classes. I stock the shelves and I help in the pool area as well, and as the summer camps.
Wow, again, so very, very busy. And what's the favourite part of your job, Daniel? You do so much there.
I'll do everything, stuff to tell me what to do.
Yeah, okay, very good. Aoife, this is what it's all about, isn't it, really? The wonderful experiences of Anna. I don't know how she managed to find time to fit us in here. And Daniel's having to take a break from work as well. But this is what it's all about. This is what we're talking about here.
Absolutely. And I think, look, from an employer's perspective, employers would say to me, we may not have ever met a person with Down syndrome before. There may be an element of fear there, but you can see from Anna and Daniel, you can also see from Shannon's feedback, people with Down syndrome are highly capable. Where we come in is to look at job roles, to carve out job tasks. We want them to be meaningful. We don't want an employer coming up with tasks for the sake of it. We want them to do tasks that are really meaningful, that are taking work off other people. But the feedback again has been that fear quickly goes away once that person with Down syndrome starts in the workplace and people can really see the capabilities. So again, we're just calling out to employers to say, if it's something that you might have in mind, absolutely either come along to the Station House on the 7th of September, or you can get in contact with me directly. We have the supports in place, and there's some fantastic adults with Down syndrome across the county of Donegal that are looking for work and are really, really capable.
And also, you're doing what your customers want. We want all parts of our society to be reflected in the places that we shop and visit. That's what we want as the consumer.
Absolutely. The feedback again, from people going into their local store, they're delighted to see this person with Down syndrome in the workplace. And a parent said to us last year, we don't want it to be that, oh my God, it's fantastic that somebody is in the workplace and we see them in their local supermarket. We want it to be the norm. It's the norm that people want to work. Our members with Down syndrome, they're now going to college after school. There's more career guidance opportunities. There's more courses available. And like ourselves, when you finish college, what's the next step? It's employment. That hasn't been there before. So it's really starting to open up those opportunities too, and just to give people, I suppose, a chance in life.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure too, you, Daniel, would like to see other people with Down syndrome to get the opportunities that you've had to get out and work and mix with people and work with others.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Yeah, okay. Is there anything else, Daniel, you want to say whilst you're up here with us? We covered everything, didn't we?
Yeah, everything's
excellent.
good.
Okay, what about you, Anna? Is there anything that you want to add?
Yes, actually, I do. I just want to go over again as my 3 work experience. So,
please, yeah, go ahead. Take your time.
Thank you very much, Greg. But yeah, I am a part of a fun team and I really enjoyed it. I have been a great experience working with my friends and meeting new people. And I make hot chocolate and coffees and teas and cappuccinos, lattes. We also sell tray bakes, it's like a Camel Squares, Rice Krispies, whatever, lovely. Like them. Well, my favourite is Camel Squares and, of course, chocolate brownies. The work involves meeting and greeting the customers, taking their orders, taking payments and keeping the place clean and tidy. I also do work experience in the Oil Centre. I love this work. So I was cleaning and tidying and help get ready for the classes. I stock the shelves and I help in the pool area as well at the summer camps. And I work, in summer camps I help out with kids who needs help. I also work in the community centre in Letterkenny, and I help with Monica and Liam with the classes and games and basketball with St. Bernard School and students, and I love this work too. And why I would like a job is I wouldn't be bored because I like to do more stuff I would like to do.
Yeah.
And I am very independent because I go to college up in the NLN, and in my college I do independent skills. That's what I'm doing in college. I really enjoyed it, and I would meet people, and I'm very good with people, and sometimes I get paid. So I really enjoyed this opportunity.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Well done, Anna. And it's clear to see how popular you are and the contribution that you put into all the places that you work. Fair play to you, Anna. Anna Hennessy. Daniel, thank you very much for calling up. You're probably back to work now, are you?
I'll go back to work again, yeah.
You're mad to get away now and get back to work, aren't you? Okay.
Definitely will, Greg. Definitely, thank you.
Right, we'll see you again. Your hair looks lovely, by the way,
Thank you.
say.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Very
Greg.
smart.
Thank you. And thank you to the ladies as well.
Yes, of course. You're very polite as well as everything else, Anna. A lovely person. Shannon, who's down in Donegal Town. And we're just going to say a quick final word to Aoife Gaffney to remind people that you can have fantastic people like Anna and Daniel working in your organisation. But how? Maybe there's questions you have, or maybe you want to find out, what kind of supports you might need or what. So over to you just to remind us when and where, Aoife, if that's okay, please.
Thanks very much, Greg. Yeah, I think the easiest way would be to drop me an email, aoife@downsyndrome.ie. We have information packs for employers, and we can give you sample tasks like the ones that Anna has called out in terms of the jobs people can do in the workplace. So drop me an email and I'll give you some more information. And in the meantime, if you'd like to see us on the 7th of September, it's in the Station House in Galway at 10:30. And thanks a million, Greg and Anna and Daniel and Shannon. I think, the more that people are aware and the more information that we can spread, hopefully the more opportunities that we can get for adults with Down syndrome.
For sure. Thank you so very much indeed. Okay, that's where we have to leave it. Thank you very much to Aoife Gaffney, who you just heard of, Shannon Bodrick, who is Director of Specsavers in Donegal Town, and they have a wonderful member of staff called Marie, and also to Anna and Daniel O'Reilly, Anna Hennessy. Both of you, thank you so very much. You did fantastic, and you're so busy. I better shut up and let you get on with getting back to wherever you're going. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you very much, Greg. You're very kind.
No, it's not. Yours are brilliant for calling up to me. It's you guys that made the effort. Thank you so very much indeed.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook, and at highlandradio.com.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
These days, we're all looking for healthy, tasty family meals and lots of variety. The good news is that our fishermen continue to bring us the best of the catch, like fresh Irish hake and haddock. There are so many ways to enjoy them. Try delicious Thai curry with hake or mouth-watering Cajun seasoned haddock. For lots of tasty recipes and different meal ideas, visit boardbeer.ie and look out for Irish hake and haddock next time you're shopping. Fresh ideas, great meals.
What's your dream job? Lawyer? Software developer? Engineer? Or criminologist? Do you want to develop renewable energies? Create the next great drama? Or improve people's health? Anything is possible at Ulster University, where you can study in the heart of Derry Londonderry. Clearing places are now available to help you realise your ambitions. It's time to say hello, future. Apply now for September 2023 at ulster.ac.uk/clearing.
The Citroën EC4 and all-new EC4X are fully electric, so that means zero exhaust emissions. Their progressive hydraulic cushion suspension means zero vibrations. Their renowned advanced comfort seating means zero discomfort. And now, their impressive finance offer means % interest rate. Book a test drive today at your local Citroën dealer and zero for yourself.
Donegal Suffolk Sheep Breeders Show and Sale of Eurostar and SIS approved rams will take place this Friday, 1st of September at Rafo Mart. The show is at 6 p.m. with a sale at 7. Online bidding available via MartBids app. That's this Friday at Rafo Mart.
Okay, you're very welcome back to the programme. We're joined on it now by Kelly McGrory. Kelly, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you today? I mean, what an amazing achievement by the four of you to be able to get Ireland to the 4x4 100-metre relay final. I mean, it's a remarkable achievement, isn't it, Kelly?
It is. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I feel like today it's really only like setting in what we've done. Like when we woke up this morning, me and my teammate were like, we're 8th in the world. Like, you know, this is a really, really big team. We're a small country. How the hell did we get here? Like,
how did you get there, Kelly? I mean, when did you first realise that you firstly loved athletics, but B, were really good at it?
Well, I suppose for me, like, I joined like any other young athlete in my local club in Tyrconnell in Donegal Town, and I joined when I was 8 or 9 years old. And yeah, like I loved all sports, but running was just, it was my favourite one. So that was the one that I stuck at. And and I suppose like that's where the love all started, and I've just stuck at it since. And like my teammates are all the same. Like, you know, they joined like me, young athletes in their local clubs, and I suppose it spirals from there then. And you know, it's a long journey. I suppose I'm 26 now, and I joined when I was 8 or 9. But when you love it, it doesn't feel like a long journey.
Yeah, and that's the one thing from all four of you and all involved in the team. It was, I mean, obviously competing at the very highest level, but not getting lost in the moment, being able to actually enjoy the experience.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the hard part, getting the balance of both. Like you really want to soak it all up and enjoy the experience, but also you really have to focus in on the task at hand and not get swallowed up by the overwhelm and the excitement and everything. So like getting that balance is hard, but like we did, and you know there was pressure on us in the heat, I suppose, to go out and make sure we would perform, and like the odds were against us a little bit, and we really did outperform ourselves. And then when we got to the final, we were go out and actually soak this up and really enjoy it. And we really enjoyed running last night, and sometimes it's hard to do that because you always have pressure on you from yourself and from expectations and everything else. But yeah, we loved every minute of it last night, and we keep saying, the support from the Irish was phenomenal.
Yeah, and when did there become so much razzmatazz around athletics? Seeing the 4 years running out there, it's like you were running out to a wrestling match or a boxing match or something. It's great to see that side of it.
I know, we really came out fighting. Like, the four of us were raring to go for that final. If it was love and passion that would have got the gold medal, like, we would have took it. But yeah, we just, this was brilliant guidance from our relay coach, Dave McCarthy, and he gave us a really inspiring speech before we went out on the track and the night before, and all of us believed in each other and believed in what we could do. We're four strong athletes, and I suppose just having that belief, and we're competitors all year round against each other, but when you come together on a team, it's all about working together and doing it for each other, and I suppose that kind of it brings you together. And yeah, we're the four of us are good friends as well, and we went out on that track with each other's backs. No matter what was to happen, we were going to be happy leaving the track, knowing that everybody had poured their heart and soul into the performance, and that's what we did.
Yeah, and you would count yourself being from Lahey, wouldn't you, Kelly?
Yes, I am. I'm a proud Lahey woman.
Yeah. So just to lead on to that, so this year, right, let's be very clear about this now. This year we've got a Lahey woman representing Ireland in the finals of the World Athletics Championships. We've a Lahey man in Jason Quigley topping the bill in championship boxing. For a tiny little village in South Donegal, we're not doing too bad, are we?
Yeah, we're not doing too bad at all. We're made of different stuff. There must be something in the water.
Very good. What now? I think you're at the airport and you're heading home. What next, Kelly? There's a bit of a come down to come from all of this. Obviously, everyone, all of your family in Lahey, of course, there'll be great celebrations. I know in the bar there was big crowds watching you perform in a great atmosphere. But now you get back, a bit of celebration, but then I suppose then back to reality to some extent.
Yeah, back to reality. I'm in my off season now once I get home, so we'll take, break 3 or 4 weeks off training, but back to reality, back to work tomorrow, and I'll get home to Donegal this weekend, and the celebrations will go on, so I'm just really looking forward to seeing all my family and friends properly, and enjoying my time off now.
And finally, what's your targets now as you take your off season and head towards next season? Are you the type that sort of says, right, this is what I want to achieve in the next season?
Yeah, I suppose at the end of the season, I'll sit down with my coaches and we'll set out our targets. Obviously, I'll have individual targets in the 4 hurdles, but this has really changed the goalpost for me, making this team and performing well in it as well. It's going to be in my goals going forward for the next few years, and making teams and being part of this quartet.
All right, well, listen, fantastic stuff, Kelly. We're also very proud of you. As you would know, the whole country was watching last night, and you did us all so proud, all 4 of you, and everyone that has to sort of have a part to get to where you did. Thank you so very much indeed.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone at home for all the support. It means so much.
All right, safe journey home, Kelly. All right, that is Kelly McGrory there from Lahey, South Donegal, part of the Irish team, the 4x400 relay team. Finished 8th in the world at the World Athletics Championship. 8th in the world, which is an unbelievable achievement, and certainly a space and a place that they can kick on from there. And you can hear in Kelly's voice too what she's looking forward to. More of it. I presume it's like an addiction, the more success you have, the more you want. Amazing stuff.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
At Lidl, back-to-school savings are for the whole family. Get family dinners with Board B approved Irish pork loin medallions, 33% extra free, only $2.99. Slice the price of Irish onions, now 39¢. And delicious lunches with Board B approved family pack Irish ham slices, 15% extra free, just $2.99. Go on, shop without compromise. Go full Lidl today.
Calling parents, teachers and all those concerned to an important meeting on Tuesday, the 29th of August at 8 p.m. in the Mount Errigal Hotel, Letterkenny, discussing parents' rights regarding the content of the new sex education to be taught as part of a school's curriculum.
getting married. Men's wedding suit packages are now 20% off. Book before August 31st. Evolve Clothing, Letterkenny Retail Park. Terms and conditions apply.
Imagine a device so innovative, you're...
Accept cookies?
There is a device so forward-thinking, you...
Accept cookies?
A device that is so modern, you...
Accept cookies?
Now imagine a technology where cookies don't get in the way of your advertising. Welcome to radio. Advertising that's cookie-free. Visit radiocenterireland.ie to see what radio can do for your product or brand.
Hi folks, Paul McDevitt here, inviting you to join myself and Jimmy Stafford this Monday night for another edition of the Monday Night Sessions. This week we welcome back our good friend, Strabane singer-songwriter Gav Kelly. Busking Festival runner-up, the amazing Jessica McKean from St Johnson will also be joining us. 16-year-old Dara McGuire from Pettigo will also be performing his brand new song, and rapper Callum Murphy from Letterkenny will also be dropping by for a bit of a rap. So that's the Monday Night Sessions this Monday night between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. right here on Highland Radio.
Now, there are plans for a new 24-metre telecoms tower in Castlefin. The development description is to construct a 24-metre high multi-use lattice tower carrying antenna and dishes. The structure would be enclosed within a 2.4-metre high palisade fence compound with associated ground equipment and associated site works, including new access gate post and rail fencing. Now, it is near St Mary's School in Castlefin, and the chair of the board of management at that school is Dominic McGlinchey. Good morning to you, Dominic. Thanks for taking the time today to chat to us.
Good morning, Greg, and good morning to everyone listening at home.
Now, it's fair to say, Dominic, that there's been a lot of concerned parents making contact, making their views known. What are the concerns?
Quite a variety of concerns. The visual impact is a major concern. People feel it's not compatible with the landscape. There's a local reservoir. There's pollution concerns, that water will actually access that local reservoir. There's traffic concerns, that the actual road that we're talking about develops into a single lane access towards the top of the hill head, and there'll be concerns for the children that are attending the school. I can go on here, Greg.
No, do, because it's important that all the information's out there.
Yeah, it is a leisure amenity. Like it is used by walkers, cyclists, and the school would use it for nature walks. Even going back 30 or maybe 35 years at this stage now, I have fond memories of Muscahoon taking us up that area for nature walks. Like it's a connecting road. It connects with the Convoy Road. This location to us is a natural greenway. And even local sports teams would use this area for training, like they'd use the hill for their fitness training. It's a natural fauna and flora of the area. Like that will be disturbed. The school itself will be hugely into biodiversity. We've been working towards our biodiversity flags, and for this to be happening, it's going to disturb the small animals of the area as well. One of the major concerns is what will end up attached to this mast. None of us experts in that field.
So initially the concerns are there, about the visual impact, the impact it might have in terms of just spoiling the area. But there are also concerns, Dominic, as to presumably, whatever is transmitted or received from this with the close proximity to young developing people. We simply don't know what impact that might have on their well-being. That's part of it too, then.
Yeah, well, I'm no expert in anything to do with radio frequency or electromagnetic waves, but the World Health Organization website states the International Agency for Research on Cancer concluded that radio frequency electromagnetic fields were a possible carcinogen. I can't talk any further on that, but as regards parents, that is a major concern with this mast being built in close proximity to the school.
Now, I think we all recognise in this day and age that we need communication. There might be black spots of mobile coverage or whatever it might be, but it's location here, Dominic. That's the key issue here, isn't it? And it's not a case of not in my backyard. There's a genuine, strong argument as to why this is not the right place for this to be. That's what locals would feel.
Yeah. we feel that there are potentially better spaces in the area for having a 24-metre mast. It's actually in the recent weeks we've noticed a drop in connectivity in Castlefin, the connections dropping, a lower standard of service in general. I don't know if that's anything to do with this planning going on and maybe trying to provoke maybe the desire for a mast in the area, but definitely the standards have dropped in recent weeks.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's the application was received by the council on the 17th of August. It's at pre-validation stage. So the public have a right to, familiarise themselves on it. I know you're not sort of expecting everyone to take your word on it, Dominic, but have a look at the proposed site, have a look at the planning, have a look at the location to the school. Do you believe that's the right place for it? And if you don't, then make a submission.
Yeah, well, the school will be objecting with our own right to do that. I'm not advocating for everybody else to object, but I think people need to make themselves aware of the mast, the planning for the mast, and what potentially could end up on the mast as well, which will be out of our control once it's up.
Yeah. Oh, no, once it's up, it's up. That's it. Okay. Right. So you can have a look through it. A submission can be accepted up until Wednesday, the 20th of September. Then a final decision is expected then on the 11th of October. So if people have heard this interview and have their concerns, they need to get on it now at this point.
Yeah. Well, starting this September, we'll have 152 pupils. We'll have 12 teachers, 5 SNAs and 3 ancillary staff. And as a board of management, we're responsible for the well-being of them people, every one of them. And we have to get them the best deal possible. And that's the reason we'll be objecting. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Dominic, thank you very much for your time. Dominic McGlinchey, I beg your pardon, Chair of the Board of Management of St Mary's School in Castlefin, 08660 25,000 if you want to give us a call there. In relation to the proposed mast in Hillhead, Castlefin, as a resident of Castlefin, I'd have concerns for residents living beside it and also the proximity of the mast to the National School and local play school. That's coming in from Jackie. Thanks for that, Jackie. I'm from Castlefin and this monstrosity is going to wreck our town, not to mention the potential health hazards. It's also an area for walkers and joggers and it's single lane traffic road, so there'll definitely be accidents if this is allowed to go ahead, believes listener Patricia. Thank you very much for that. And as I say, it seems the concerns are multifaceted. They're not simply concerns about the risk of radiation or whatever. It's also where it's located in terms of it being seems a very popular local amenity. Louise Kelly on Facebook, fantastic. Anna and Daniel, weren't they brilliant? Really were. Gina Grant commented also, and I think saying that Anna's a fantastic athlete as well. Both are fantastic athletes. Both represent Ireland. Sandra McCrae, good on Anna and Daniel, up and out, working every day and getting to meet the public. Thank you for the comments coming in via text, calls, and for those of you commenting with us also on social media. We have a contact number here for someone who got a treatment, let me call it that, for psoriasis, and it worked successfully for someone in their life. So if that person who's looking for some assistance for her 19-year-old daughter, if you contact us, we'll pass that on to you. Kathleen says, great to hear Anna and Daniel. Great to see and hear the interviews. Well done, all involved, and to Highland Radio for supporting it. And just to mention again, I know lots of you are on it already, and if you're in the car, it's irrelevant. If you're at work, it's irrelevant. But maybe you are at home, and maybe you have a smart TV. And if you have a smart TV, you've got the YouTube app. If you've got a Fire Stick, you've got the YouTube app or access to it. And you can watch our show and see interviews like the interviews we conducted with Anna and Daniel and the rest of the crew that were on with us. It's just a different way for you to engage with us. So Highland Radio Ireland, you can like and subscribe to the YouTube page, and we're on Facebook as well, Highland Hub or Highland Radio News and Sport. And we've about 2 million live minutes viewed of the show every month. So lots and lots of you watch it at different times on different platforms throughout the course of the morning. Really appreciate that. I think Dominic is totally correct. As a parent, I'll be having severe reservations about sending my children to the school. Greg, I'm a local parent and my child attends the National School in Castlefin, and I'm shocked that this is going to be in close proximity to the school. I myself am a past student and remember going on sponsored walks on this route, and beautiful scenery as well. That comes in from Mary in Castlefin. Morning, Greg. Part of a cycling group based in County Tyrone, which comes to Castlefin area, and we cycle past this proposed mast location. Our group will not continue on this route if this mast is built. Establishing this route during COVID, lovely scenic landscape. So sorry and saddened to hear that this is even being considered. That comes in from Sarah Louise. Well, let's wait and see. Thanks for the text, Sarah Louise. It is an application, it is a proposal, and it is going to face some resistance, it seems. Really impressed and enjoyed your conversation with Emma, Anna and Daniel. Fine, articulate young people. Yes, indeed, they are. The best of the best. In relation to the act of vandalism in Rafo, pretty horrific it was too. For those of you watching the stream would have seen the images. There's plenty of CCTV cameras in business premises in Rafo. Hopefully they pick whoever done the damage, catch them. Yeah, indeed, there are. And the hope would be, and it's... hope rather than expectation, that someone wakes up and goes, oh my word, what did we do? And comes forward and takes responsibility for it. Okay, we're heading towards the news headlines at 11 o'clock. Please stay right where you are.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
Do you know TK Maxx is full of big brands that are always at like small prices?
Yeah, literally everyone knows that.
Oh,
Bill knows.
I know that.
Jill knows. Curtin is kids and their rather loud toys know. Even aliens know.
Take us to your big brand skincare.
So yeah, everyone knows there's no deal like a TK Maxx deal. Big brands, small prices, in store today.
Breedon's Furniture, Cooley Maville. With over 40 years of experience in furniture and floor coverings, they've got Irish-made furniture, suites, beds, mattresses, dining, flooring, slide robes and occasional furniture. Great prices and large selection now available at Breedon's Home Furnishers, Cooley Maville.
In the next 15 seconds, you're going to find out where is the best place in the Northwest to buy a bed or mattress. It's Restex Beds and Furniture Mountain Top, Letterkenny, where comfort meets style.
Where's the party? Bundoran presents Ireland's biggest indoor dancing festival, the World Matchmaking Festival, in 4 venues for 10 days, 10 nights, September 29th to October 8th. Starring 35 bands, including the Tumbling Paddies, Derek Ryan, David James, Declan Nerney, plus Blind Date and Speed Dating. Book now for accommodation and entertainment package deals. Log on to showtours.ie or call 0818 300 888. Meet your match in Bundoran. Very special guest from Listowel Varna, the world famous matchmaker Willie Daly.
The county's #1 talk show, the 9 till noon show on Highland Radio.
Okay, it is 11 o'clock, which means it's time for a news update. And we say good morning now to Lucy Peoples.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. Another arrest has been made in relation to the discovery of a body off Sleague League in Donegal. The remains of a man in his 60s were found at the Sea Cliffs after an alleged assault between June 24th and 25th. Gardaí say a woman in her 20s has been taken into custody. A man in his 30s was charged in relation to the incident last month. A Dundalk-based TD says he has concerns that the family of Sean Rooney, the UN peacekeeper killed in Lebanon late last year, will not get justice. On today's 9 till noon show, Deputy Rory O'Murku said while 5 men have been accused in relation to the attack, he has concerns and reservations. He has raised those concerns with Taoiseach and Defence Minister Micheál Martin. Uisce Éireann is investigating reports of a water outage in North Inishowen. Supply disruptions are being reported in the Carrow Ray Road and surrounding areas of Carndonagh. Donegal County Council has come 6th in electric vehicle transition among local authorities across the country. New analysis has today been unveiled by Geotab, a company in connected transportation solutions. Donegal County Council has a fleet of 68 vehicles, 4 of which are electrified. That's a total of 6%. However, the council fares better in the use of telematics, which helps vehicles reduce their carbon footprint. The chair of Rafo Community Action has hit out at an incident of vandalism in the town on Saturday night. The destruction, which included broken branches and depotted flower beds, has been reported to Gardaí. There are doubts this morning over whether November's planned Women in the Home referendum will go ahead. The government is said to be nervous about the campaign possibly being dominated by debates about the definition of the family and gender issues. There are also differing views about the wording for a replacement article. Those are the latest headlines. We'll be back with your next news update at 12 o'clock.
Welcome, Lucy. Where are you going? I'm speaking to you, Lucy. We're live on the radio here. No, but this is your first time you've been with us during the day. I mean, obviously, you're the new member of the team at the weekends.
Yeah, I know. This is lovely. This is really different.
It's cool, isn't it?
It's all
I'm
go.
more relaxed.
You're very chilled,
You work
Greg.
with the sports people. They're a bit chaotic.
Yeah, I like the shuffle. That can be done.
That's off-air shuffle is not to be mentioned on air.
Sorry, I crossed the boundary.
Off-air shuffle. From Fanad, aren't you?
From Fanad, Greg,
Okay.
yeah.
And how are you enjoying it so far?
I'm loving it. It's amazing.
Yeah?
So exciting.
Excellent. Good
It's
stuff.
really
Well,
good.
it is wonderful to have you on
Thank you
board
so much.
and as part of the team, and great to have you in during the week as well. That's Lucy Peoples, who presents the news here on Highland Radio at the weekends. All right, back with more shortly.
What can you bag at Maxall? Well, there's fuel, of course, rows of coffee, crisps, bars, brekkie rolls, chicken fillet rolls, bread, cornflakes, Rice Krispies, oats, milk, apples, oranges, bananas, ham, cheese, kids' lunches, pasta, rice, chopped tomatoes, spaghetti hoops, beans, tuna, pizza, rashers, sausages, mayonnaise, Ben & Jerry's, goodies, firelogs, cozy night in, tea bags, orange juice, cookies, biscuits, toothpaste, toilet roll, bin bags, cake, card, mum's birthday, chewing gum, jam, soup, shampoo, still water, sparkling water. See? You'll find bags more at Maxall. Oh, and dog food.
All right, you're very welcome back to the 9 till noon show here on Highland Radio. Loads to come in the next hour, so stay right where you are. And thanks for keeping us so busy again on the text line. It really is very much welcome. Brendan Devaney is just sorting himself out here on Zoom, but we can speak to you anyway. Brendan, how are you getting on?
We can, Greg. Good to see you.
Organised
Thanks.
chaos. That's what I like. You know, I don't like anything too polished.
Well, listen, I'm scrambling all right around the house, TP links and upstairs and away from the noise.
But your house is like all of our houses, you know, with children in them. Every year there's something happening with them, whether they're going into this or going into that, and it's a busy old week for families out there, Brent.
It is indeed, and I usually wait 2 minutes before the show to make myself a coffee and we bit of dark chocolate and lift the mood here, Greg.
Yeah,
you know?
no, don't worry about it. Our wee Hudson's going to Mean Ref for the first time today, which is all very exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Well, listen, my wee man just started St. Junans there, Matthew. So we were in there this morning. So good buzz about the college there. Good crack. Loads of teachers. Bit different from my opening day.
Well, I was going to say, I hope as he got out of the car and headed into the college, you didn't say, "All right, son, don't do anything I wouldn't do."
Well, listen, I have a checkered history there from my time. So,
but you redeemed it all by putting St. Eunan's on the national stage, the international stage. So you're all right.
God.
You did well for yourself, Brent. Come here. I think last Monday we were speculating on the inevitable, or no. Yeah, I think when we were speaking on the DL debate and then we spoke afterwards, the speculation was that Jim McGuinness obviously was going to get it. We know he's in situ now. We know he's got his backroom team. You're going to reflect on that. But again, exciting times once again for Donegal football, Bren.
Oh, yeah, hugely exciting, Greg. You know, when you think people was looking in I suppose, what was the alternative, you know, from last year and the whole saga about who was going to take the job. There wasn't a whole queue of people or people that we went after. They didn't want the job. And, you know, people then wanted Carl Lacey and Murray Kavanagh. And that looked like it was going to happen at one stage. And they backed off. So even this year, Greg, the fact that we have someone of Jim's calibre wanting to come back in, I think the timing's brilliant. His backroom team is brilliant as well. And I think we're so lucky, Greg. And I was looking you think of it from his other last 4 years, Greg, you know, 3 Ulsters, 2 All-Ireland final appearances, 1 All-Ireland, 1 Division 2. But the effect that has lasting on Donegal GA, I was thinking about that over, you know, when he announced his return and, of course, his backroom team, because previous to that, there was no, you know, massive amount of potential managers out there. And I think, particularly with him coming in now for this tenure, that after this, you know, you're going to have so many players from that 2012 team involved in coaching. There's at least 8 or 9 of them. So we're going to have managers ready-made. And I was just thinking about the lasting effect of his first 4 years there, and certainly now into these next 4 years, whatever we won and whatever comes out of it, there certainly is some great coaches and managers of the future there as well.
Yeah, it really does seem to set us on a steady footing, and Jim McGuinness's second tenure is much more than a transition project, but it certainly is going to have that effect. So in other words, it kind of, and we hope and pray, it puts to bed, you know, this uncertainty about management and what have you for quite some time to come. Now, obviously, maybe the future stars of Jim McGuinness's squad and established stars as well, of course, in action at the weekend. It was round 2 at the weekend. And, of course, you're going to be going through all of that with your guests, Frank Craig of Iconic Media and GEA coach Barry Meehan as well. What stood out for you, Brent?
Well, I suppose the big game, and Jim was at it, was Niamh Connell against the Unions, and you know, it ended up a draw, stalemate down in Glenties, and really it was a game St Unions had 7 points up, and a game as low scoring as that, Greg, you would have thought there was no way back. So listen, testament to Niamh Connell, the most consistent team in Donegal now this last number of years, going for, you know, an amazing 6 finals in a row they're attempting, which is really unheard of. So listen, they have that in them, that they're never going to say die attitude. So you would think though, with the Unions team, the way Niamh Connell play sitting deep like that, you know, if you have a lead on a side like that, you got to play smart in terms of keeping the ball and drawing out the team, because if you're sitting as a deep counter-attacking team and you're way behind, you have to come out and play a bit. But listen, they were at home, you know, still early in the season. You know, you talk about learning processes, and every coach and everybody will tell you every game's a learning game. And I think both teams will have learned a lot from that match. Got a bit feisty. There was a bit of scuffling at the end. It was funny, TG Cahir there, actually, because I was down in Buncrana doing Buncrana Malin in the intermediate, and I got up as far as Newton. I stopped on with my mum, and you could see the whole commotion after it. But then a wee graphic come up on the screen blocking it. It was kind of funny, but I think there wasn't too much in it now. But that's just the rivalry, Greg. Listen, there's no doubt in these two teams. You're looking at either of them, you wouldn't put it past. There doesn't seem to be anybody else outside those two for me are going to win the championship. And I know, you know, obviously, likes of Kilcara in particular, and, you know, Gweedore were defeated at the weekend. You know, in terms of the squads and the ability, I think at this point, you can't see the title going outside of either of these sides this season.
All right. I hope the coaches get a clip of that from the podcast and they can play it out in the dressing rooms and prove this guy wrong.
No one listens to me. No one listens to me.
What are you on about? Can we have you just briefly before we let you go, in the deal debate, I'll remind people when it's on, like, you've fully made this transition now, of course, from, you know, as a club player, club manager, soccer player, and all that kind of stuff, into the whole media side of it, between podcasts and live broadcasts and, you know, being the interviewer of players rather than being the interviewee. How are you enjoying it, Brandon? Because you're still right now, I was going to say something else, but deep into the game, but from a different perspective. It must be fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good fun. Like, I guess, listen, we love the game, and then, you know, going to games now, because they are so defensive, Greg, and poor, quite often, like a lot of the crack you'll have about games, it used to be you're always going to games just for the game, and whatever happened outside that was fine, but it's almost flipped now. The people that you meet, and particularly when you're doing this media work, the kind of the crack and the laugh you have around it, because, you know, even like down in Buncrana there yesterday, you know, teams are playing, everyone's playing the same, you know, everybody behind the ball, more or less, and playing the percentages. So the games can be a bit drab. There might be a bit of life at the end of them when it comes down to low-scoring games, because there's never teams pulling away from teams, really, in a lot of the matches, you know. So, listen, quite often there's a lot of fun there. I got an opportunity, Greg, to go and do a GA podcast in New York next month. So,
what do you mean go?
Pops up there.
Hold on a second. What do you mean go?
What?
You're going to do the podcast?
No, I'm going to do a podcast.
Yeah, but are you going to America to do it?
Yeah.
What, have you heard of? We're literally on Zoom.
No,
what are you on?
No Zoom in New York. No,
I'll video it. Yes, I'm coming. I'll video it. No problem.
We'll get
All right.
anything other. We'll do a Highland Radio tilt on it.
You never know. You never know unless you ask. All right, brilliant stuff. Well, tell us more about that next week. Bren, listen, the DL debate is live just after 7 p.m. tonight, and you can also podcast it, of course, highlandradio.com, reflecting on Jim McGuinness's return, his backroom team, and a full review of the club championships. We'll see if anyone has a different view to Brendan, and he's got Frank Craig, GA correspondent with Iconic Media Group, and top GA coach Barry Meehan on as well. So you can imagine that's going to be an interesting conversation, and you can listen to the DL debate in association with Sarah's Kitchen at Sister Sarah's Letterkenny. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Guy McDade made me promise not to install Glen Swilly as anyway championship contenders. That's why I didn't mention them there, Greg. All right, so
they don't need that kiss of death. All right then.
Good luck.
Take care of yourself. Bye bye. Brendan Devaney there. 086 60 25,000. A caller says biggest mistake Jim will ever make. Now he'll go down as a loser, not as he was a hero. Listen, I mean, look what he delivered in 2012. He is a hero, and he's got hero status. I don't really think he can tarnish that, and I think he wouldn't take on the role unless he thought that he could do a job. All right, and I don't think it has to be in All Ireland either. I think it has to be good seasons where we feel like, well, that was good. That was good fun. That was interesting. All right, back with more in the 9 till noon show after these messages.
The county's #1 talk show, the 9 till noon show on Highland Radio. The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from 40,000 to 600,000 euro with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
Best staycation ever. 4 best mates, 60 minutes from home. 10 thrilling zip lines. 8 breathtaking views. 4 coffees to catch a breath. 1,000 metres into a wondrous cave. 3 echo. 1 incredible day. Plan your best staycation ever at discoverireland.ie and experience the feeling of a holiday all in one day. Brought to you by Fáilte Ireland.
For all the biggest names in cosmetics and makeup, visit McGee's Chemist Letterkenny. Choose from Lancôme and Clarins, Blank Canvas, Inglot, Note and many more. With a great selection of gift sets also available in-store and online. For any cosmetics or makeup queries, just talk to our resident skincare consultants Mary or Gemma. McGee's Chemist, Main Street Letterkenny, and online at mcgees.ie. With the best, costs less.
The Donegal Cheviot and Cheviot Cross Breeders Group will hold their annual sale of Cheviots, Cheviot Mules, Suffolk Cross Cheviots and Cheviot Cross Blackface Hogged Ewes and Ewe Lambs on Friday the 1st of September at Stranorlar Mart. Sale is at 6 p.m. The sales will also be online on the Mart I app. This ad is kindly sponsored by Lynch Brothers Northwest Plant Hire Limited, Buncrana.
Enter the Virgin Media Playhouse and unleash our best offers. It's time to play with our €100 gift voucher to spend your way when you choose full fibre 500 meg broadband for just €39 a month for 12 months and no activation fee. So switch today at virginmedia.ie. Virgin Media. It's playtime.
T's and C's apply. See virginmedia.ie. Subject to location and availability. New customers only. 12-month contract. 500 meg broadband. €70 thereafter. Ends October 11th, 2023.
Highland Radio time checks with Expressway. Travel Route 32 from Letterkenny to Dublin when you book online and travel for less. Expressway, bringing you the time at...
Okay, the time now is 11:15, and it's time for Monday Focus. What we do on a Monday after 11 o'clock is we use a bit of extra time to discuss an issue that is important to individuals or a group of individuals. But anyway, on Monday Focus today, we discuss the lack of transport for people with mobility issues in Donegal. Joining us on the show, okay to come in, Niamh, just so they have that. Okay. Joining us on the show, Support Guidance Officer, National Learning Network Letterkenny, Sinead McAteer, and students Sean Sheridan and Kiva Begley. Good morning to all of you. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Good morning, Greg.
Great to have you on the programme. Okay, I'll speak with you first, if that's okay, Sinead. We talk about accessibility, inclusion on this programme all the time. It feels that sometimes we're making some inroads, but then you hear people's lived experience, and I'm not saying we're going backwards, but it's frustratingly stalled, I think, in terms of having proper access for as many people as is possible.
Yes, I know through the National Learning Network we have an advocacy group, and representatives from a lot of the classrooms would feedback issues. And then we could try and maybe highlight those issues, but one that would reoccur constantly is the lack of accessible transport for people with mobility needs. Should they perhaps require crutches for walking, or mobility scooters for longer distances, or a manual or electric wheelchair? The fact that there's virtually no public transport to get to areas, like tourist areas, shopping days, things like that. Kiva, isn't it? Yeah.
So Kiva, tell us
a taxi maybe, but that's about it. So the cost of a taxi would be...
For sure. Can I go to you, Kiva? What has your experience been?
My experience has been... I was going to Baba Fair one day, and I had to get a taxi because I couldn't get on the bus. And I had to go in the taxi alone.
Very frustrating.
Yes.
Yeah. And you'd have an experience of being in Dublin. Now, it is okay down there, is it?
Yes. And then you come back to Donegal and you realise how far behind we are.
And in terms of local link, that would be the most regularly used transport for you. How does that work for you?
Yeah, it's good. The actual local link that I'm on is the only bus that has a wheelchair ramp. It's the only bus in the local link company that has a wheelchair ramp. So I feel like...
So you're lucky, but
you're
thinking on other people that don't have the same access that you have. It's and was that provided for you, or is that a coincidence?
Coincidence, I think, yeah.
Yeah. And why should people with mobilities in Donegal be treated to those in Dublin?
We're all equal. We're all the same.
We should all be all the same. All right, I'll come back to you. I want Sean's experience as well. Sean, how would you describe your situation or disability? You're a crutch user. Is that how you describe it? Yeah.
And I have a disability scooter as well. And
okay.
The lack of transport for me, for the actual to get around there, Kenny, it's been the cost of it, and
your taxis again, aren't you? Really, if you want to get around, it's taxis.
If you want to do it yourself, you have to depend on other people. You have to depend on like your PAs and your family to get you places.
And can I ask you, Sean, what would you like to see change?
I'd like to see change in more accessible taxis and public buses, because we have public bus or the card for the bus, but we can't use it without assistance from family and from other people to help us to get up and down the steps.
And your independence, how important is it for you to be able to live your life as independently as is possible?
It's really hard when you have a disability. When you're balancing, you have to go around with crutches. So it does. And a scooter.
And the scooter, is the town, you're around Letterkenny mostly, like, is there anything around the town that needs to change in relation to the scooter? So say, for instance, you could get the scooter to point A and travel from there. Is the town set up that you can move around okay on the scooter?
But we still need the transport
of course, to get there, yeah, of course.
To get there, because you're not, you can't depend on the battery on the scooter to be. I know it's normally should be always charged up, but you should be able to use your local transport without asking for other people to help out. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. No. I was fascinated with what you were saying. You're doing fantastic, Sean. Kiva, your independence too, as much as you know, and you know best. That's important to you also, I'd imagine.
Oh, yeah. Very much so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And see, this is the thing to Sinead.
Mm-hmm.
It's really great that we've got two excellent speakers in Kiva and Sean making points that cannot be argued with.
Yes.
Okay, this is what Sean's saying and what Kiva's saying. There's no counter argument here. Okay, I think there's no one listening that could put up an argument. So the people that make these decisions need to understand people's lived experience and listen to them and make things more accessible, more inclusive.
Yes, I know that through the LIC, we call it the LIC, it's Local Advocacy Committee. We have a few representatives, including Sean, who would like to write to the Transport Minister just to address these, because we're wondering why, perhaps, like, I know Dublin's a big city, capital city, but there could be so much accessibility and then none around Donegal, you know.
Well, we had a minister on, I can't remember her name, who's responsible for Local Link, and she was coming on and was talking about how there's new buses being provided for Local Link, right? And I said to them, A, are all these new buses going to be fully accessible? And B, you know, how are they going to be in terms of the environment?
Yes.
And there was no answer. Do you know what I mean? So even now, and she's a Green Party rep, even now we're getting new buses, but are they fully accessible for Sean and Kiva and others?
There's other there's other issues as well. It's like lack of clarity, because we have another student, she couldn't be here today, but she would require just medical conditions. She requires a mobility scooter for longer distances, and it comes apart and be folded up into 3 pieces and can fit in a standard car boot. So we phoned the local buses. It was Bus Éireann, and we were told that it could be booked on expressway buses underneath and to put it as a bike. But whenever we turned up on the day, it was declined. So one of the staff had to drive behind in their car just to take this fold-up scooter in the boot. So, and it wasn't a big car. It was a standard Ford Focus size car that the scooter.
Was there a reason given as to why?
They wouldn't transport it. No, and so there was a lot of phone calls from ourselves back and forward that day trying to find out, and the conclusion was yes, it could be booked under a bike, but it wasn't the case on the day. So we have 2 staff that would accompany me in an outing, a shopping trip it was this day, and one person was there having to drive their own car just to put the mobility scooter that was folded up, quite compact, in their boot.
Kiva, is it difficult now to book, say for instance you are going to Dublin and you want to go on Bus Éireann, is it a difficult procedure for you to book your place?
It's not a difficult procedure, but when you get there, you just have to see if you will be able to get on, because not all the time you would be able to get on.
Yeah. And do you have to still book in advance? Because
you have to book in advance, yeah.
So if you decide that you want to go to
24 hours in advance.
But even when you turn up, there's no guarantee that they might say, I'm on my own, I can't accommodate you today.
No.
That did happen, Kiva, recently, where you booked a seat and they told you that they would be able to take you in a chair, but whenever they turned up, they said they couldn't. So Kiva had to get a taxi separately too. One of the summer outings, wasn't it?
And Sean, you mentioned, and Kiva's mentioned taxis as well, and that's fine, but they're private sector, incredibly expensive. We can't rely on private people, just individuals like our brothers or dads or mums or whatever. There is a responsibility, I think, for the state to provide accessible transport.
The state needs to they are also service as, because we can't always have. We like to be out on our own, and taxis are very expensive.
Yeah, and is there anything else that you want to talk to us about, Sean? I know you've made a couple of notes, but I want to make sure that when you leave here, you feel that you've said everything that's important to you. So go through them, and if there's anything that you want to talk about, please use this opportunity now, Sean, or we might have covered everything.
I want to mention as well for older people, as getting on the bus was a stick, and how awkward it is on Bus Éireann and Kennelly buses that they have to get up and myself. I ended up had to use my mum to actually help me go behind me, going up the steps, and then come back off the bus, go in front of me, in case off my balance would go.
And what's the alternative there? And pardon my ignorance on this, but it's best to ask the questions. I presume there are some buses then that have they're easily accessible. You just step on them rather than up into them.
Aye, if there's ones that able to step onto instead of going up the steps, it would be a lot easier for.
Yeah, and is that normally an electronic ramp that helps in that situation, or how does that work? I wonder. I haven't seen one of these buses.
There should be a manual ramp on buses.
Get you, understood. And Kiva, most buses, can they accommodate you in your chair? Most buses?
Very, very few.
Very few, okay. This progress is so slow, Sinead. Again, I'm going back to where we began here.
Yeah.
I just would love if they had one of these Oireachtas committee meetings, bring in the bus companies, bring in excellent speakers like Sean and Kiva, and explain to their faces why we're not making the progress we should. I mean, there was a lady from Ballyshannon had a 6-month campaign just to try and be able to get access to a bus so she could go to the ATU in Sligo. Why are we having to have these battles, these individual battles? And then you talked about older people, Sean. We had a lovely lady on the show last week, Nora, who the bus was empty. She wasn't even able. She says, "Can I get on the bus to go back to Donegal?" She'd just been in hospital, right? And they says no. And then let someone else on that had. It's the treatment of people. I wonder, is there a culture in Bus Éireann that doesn't care? I hope there isn't, but you hear too many stories, Sinead.
Yeah, you hear about. Well, a lot of the students would highlight the having to book a seat to get onto buses, even though they have travel passes, and that can be difficult because a lot of people don't have smartphones or phones with apps, and are having to ask people to book tickets for them. Strangers in the street.
We've heard the importance of independence. You know, and then this thing whereby there's for €2 you get priority boarding. We're not flying to Alicante here. You know, we're trying to get on a bus stand.
Yeah, I know. It's priority boarding.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can go into the ticket stations, say they're down at the Letterkenny Shopping Centre, but we've been in there before trying to book tickets to go for a regional meeting with some student representatives, and say the ticket machine's broke, then it's broke just for the weekend, so you're trying to rely on those that have apps. Not everybody has an app to book their tickets, so booking tickets for each other, so it's not very convenient. You know.
Can I just
Sean, just jump in, say whatever you want, go ahead.
Can I just say something on the we had to book a ticket from Bus Éireann to there. We're in Dublin there, and we had to book we had to book a seat for to get on Bus Éireann, and we ended up had to ask somebody in the public to help out. We couldn't do it online. It should be that you should be able to go to a person and able to do it over a counter.
And it's clear, Sean, you're a very proud man. And you don't want to have to be, you know, it's nice that you met a member of the public that would help, but you don't want to have to do that, do you? You want to be able to do that kind of thing yourself. Kiva, before I ask you a question, Auntie Katrina's watching you.
Oh, hello, Nina.
Yeah, okay. Auntie Katrina. Nice. Hi, Katrina. Anything else that you want to mention, Kiva, as well? Or did we touch on most of it for you?
No, I think we touched on all.
Okay. Brilliant stuff.
Points.
As I say, you know, we're hearing you, listening to you. I just wish the people that make these decisions did as well. And I'll ask the same question of you, Sinead. Anything else you want to add?
I suppose just a summary that it's a basic need that should be accessible for everyone. People shouldn't be excluded from public transport, especially on crucial, essential routes. You know, that there should be accessible adaptations made to buses. You know, buses need to be upgraded if there's absolutely none of them in Donegal. If there is one and we're not aware of them and anyone's listening, please get in contact with the National Learn Network in Letterkenny.
And also too, and Kiva's made the point about how things are good in Dublin, and we're talking about us living here, but you know, we have to talk about to our now Olivia Montgomery's waving at you. What's going on? What's going on?
Fan base.
What's going on here, Kiva? Hi, Olivia.
Hello, Olivia.
But my point is we have to think of our international reputation as well, Kiva and Sean, because if people can go into Dublin and move around, I'm sure they know that it's going to be very difficult if they have if they're a wheelchair user or on crutches or a scooter user, that Donegal is like, do you know what I mean? So we have to think about that too. Sean, it's been great having you on. Thank you very much indeed, and keep up the good work advocating for yourself and for others as well. Kiva, it's always great to have you on the programme. You're a bit of a regular now at this stage, so thank you very much indeed.
Greg.
And last but not least, National Support Guidance Officer at National Learning Network Letterkenny, Sinead McAteer. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Greg.
All right, and that's Sean Sheridan and Kiva Beckley, who seems to be related to everybody out there because they're all saying hello to you. Okay. And you too, Sean. Some lovely messages coming in for you as well. Okay, I'll read them out. Of course they are. Well done, Sean and Kiva. Fantastic interview. Well done, Sean. A great speaker and on the go as well. So there you go. You're both getting the love today. Nothing for you, Sinead.
Oh, well, that's all right.
Nothing for you. It's all the love for Kiva and Sean. Go ahead, Sean.
But it's a fellow our Minister for Health needs to waking up.
He needs to listen.
And listen to us.
All right. All right. Good note to finish on. Thank you very much indeed.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com. The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
House to Home Bridgend, Donegal. Our modest front door opens onto 2 floors of Irish-made furniture, suites, beds, mattresses, dining and occasional furniture. Step into our showroom and see how we can transform your house into a home. House to Home furniture, flooring, slide robes and interiors, Bridgend, Donegal.
Are you tired of hiding your smile? It's time to regain your confidence at Blue Poppy Orthodontics. We offer a range of solutions from Invisalign and regular braces to general dentistry, teeth whitening, implants and composite bonding. And now some exciting news. At Blue Poppy, your Invisalign clear brace is now available for the same price as conventional braces and includes an attractive repayment plan. Take the first step with Blue Poppy Orthodontics, Letterkenny and Donegal Town. Call 074 974 0404.
There's still time to book that holiday to France with Stena Line. Travel Rosslare to Cherbourg from €199 one way, car and driver. Travel in comfort at a time that suits you with more sailings to France and Britain than ever before. Book now at stenaline.ie. Wherever you're going, enjoy getting there with Stena Line.
Donegal County Council has prepared a proposed material alterations to the draft Letterkenny Plan and Local Transport Plan 2023 to 2029 for public inspection. Public consultation runs from Friday 11th of August to Friday 8th of September 2023. For details, see consult.donegal.ie.
Husqvarna, one of the biggest names in construction worldwide, is hosting a special Products Roadshow this Thursday the 31st at Watson Hire in Letterkenny. See the full range of unique products designed to make construction customers more productive and successful. With goodie bags, special offers and a big draw on the day for a new Husqvarna concrete saw worth €900. Don't miss the Husqvarna Construction Products Roadshow this Thursday the 31st from 10:30 to 3:30 at Watson Hire, Letterkenny.
What an amazing morning it's been so far, and listening to all the different voices and what have you on the programme. Calls have been made for an emergency meeting to be held with Uisce Éireann, Irish Water, following yet another burst water pipe in the Meenacladdy area. Residents in that area experienced difficulty due to water pipes on an ongoing basis, and the area is one that is home to tourists, Irish language students during the summer months, and many depend heavily on having a dependable source of water. local Sinn Féin councillor John Seamus O'Farrell said that he'd be asking his colleagues, the Cathaoirleach of the Glentees Municipal District, to call for an emergency meeting with Uisce Éireann to discuss the ongoing problems here. So we've talked about people that come into the area, but there's people that live there all the time and have to endure every outage. Maria Coyle's amongst them, I think. Hi, Maria.
Hello, Greg. How are you?
I'm okay, but for you guys, it's on and on and on and on, and here we go again.
Yeah, it seems to be a constant thing now, having water outages every so often.
And it feels like it's a sticking plaster.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, it is. Very much so.
Yeah. Tell us what it's like. How often does your water go out? How does it impact your life?
Quite irregular. It's how, like, we're on this stretch of road where I am, there's a 1 kilometre and there's about 20 odd patches in the past couple of years of constantly leaks, burst pipes. It is so frustrating that you can get up in the morning and you have no water, and you could have water maybe for an hour or two. It could be off for an hour or two, and then it could be off maybe a couple of days. And it's just frustrating. There's a lot of young families here and older people, and water is a kind of amenity that everybody needs. Mm-hmm. And to have that off for, you don't know if it's going to go off for every day. It's
mid-shower, mid-washing machine wash, mid-dishwasher
yes, exactly. Mid-wash machine is a big one.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
Yeah, and then if there are people obviously going to be caring for younger people or others that rely on water. We all know, especially over the last 3 or 4 years, the importance of water and cleanliness. You know, it's just... And it sounds to me with these problems, Maria, and it's not just in your area, there are a couple of other areas, but we're focusing on yours today, is that the pipes are so bad that when they improve a section or when they seal a weakness in the pipes, it actually almost puts extra pressure on another area, a weak spot that goes, and it's just constant whack-a-mole, it reminds me of, that, you know, you can't...
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like the pipes here haven't been replaced in about 40-odd years. So they're replacing old pipes with new pipes, which is putting pressure on the older pipes that's in.
Yeah, it needs a proper investment action plan to say, right, we recognise there's an issue there and this is what we're going to do to fix it. Because as well as anything else, the sooner they get rid of the old asbestos pipes, the better.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is, because the water is just... It can be okay.
I just would have thought financially, Maria, it makes more sense to, when there is a particular area of difficulty, to go in, dig the road up once and replace it, rather than constantly sending crews there. You know, financially, I wonder, would it not make much more sense to go and fix a problem once and for all, rather than this constantly returning to the same area, fixing segments bit by bit, which will eventually all get ripped out and replaced anyway, just as a matter of when?
It would be financially better for water, for Irish Water. I think it was something like 400,000 in this area alone to fix the leaks that's in the pipes.
My word, that's huge. Right.
Like, they would put that, if they put new water, if they invested that money into new pipes.
Yeah, okay.
It would be a lot better for everybody.
Right, so hopefully now, and I'm sure they will, all Glentees electoral area councillors will join with John Seamus O'Farrell and the Cathaoirleach, which I'm sure he won't be found wanting either, in convening or at least calling for this emergency meeting. So Uisce Éireann, explain the reason as to why this is happening and what they're going to do about it.
We have asked. We did have a meeting in 2018 when it was starting, and we were supposed to meet with Irish Water, but they haven't appeared.
Okay, well, listen, we're going to make our inquiries as well to see what they say, how they justify this. Maria, thanks for helping us tell the story this morning.
Right. No bother, thank you.
Take care of yourself. Maria Coyle there, a disgruntled resident, and rightly so. On the 23rd of August, I celebrated my 60th birthday and also retired after 42 years working in An Post. I was overwhelmed and humbled by the number of gifts, cards and messages of good wishes I received from family, friends, colleagues and members of the public. It would be nearly impossible for me to thank people individually, so I want to take this opportunity through your good selves at Highland Radio to say a very sincere thank you to all those people for their thoughtfulness and kindness. It was very much appreciated, and that's coming in from Tommy McNutt in Ballybofey. And Tommy, if you don't mind, and I think I can, on all of the people over those 42 years that you delivered post to, with a smile on your face and a skip in your step. And also, I'm sure, for all of your work colleagues, you spend 42 odd years or parts of it with someone, you get to know them really well. I'm sure they all thank you for your fantastic service and wish you health and happiness in your retirement. And at 60, you're only a nipper. So hopefully you've plenty of a time to enjoy it too. Well done. Thank you very much for that, Tommy, and we are more than happy to use our airwaves to pass that message on for you. Good morning. In relation to the phone mast in Castlefin, I agree that it would be detrimental to the area, which is a rural setting, which would be an eyesore for the skyline. Also, there's a lot of walkers and local groups who walk in that area and would affect local wildlife too, and the tranquility, not to mention that it will devalue local property and affect farms' access. So we're getting a growing sense of people not happy with that transmitter in that area, if indeed that is what it is. Okay, right. We are in the final week of our summer cash draw. It's a mega summer crash cash draw already. €7,500 has been won by 3 listeners to the radio station, 3 ticket buyers. They all each have €2,500 to spend, which is fantastic. Now, the Friday, I'm going to argue and say this is it, man. This is the big one. This coming Friday, Lee Gooch, €2,500 to give away, €2,500. And on the 9 till noon show with me, €10,000, massive amount of money. I'd take the $2,500. I'd bite your arm off for the 10. You can be within a chance of winning this money still, by the way, because tickets are available and will be available until Friday morning. You enter both draws now at this point. It's quite as simple as that. So if you want to get your tickets to be in with a chance of winning and join our other 3 big winners, then hop on to our website, highlandradio.com. You can buy your tickets there. You just click the Summer Cash Draw banner. You can't miss it. And you can buy your tickets safely and securely online. They're a tenner each. Now, obviously, we only want people who can afford it and it's within their means and they can have a little bit of a punt to do so. But if you either yourself or if you want to group with other people, if you buy 5 tickets, you get an extra 1 free. If you buy 8 tickets, you get 2 free. Okay, so it's not too bad at all, is it? So if you want to buy a ticket, go on our website, highlandradio.com. Now, we can accommodate you doing it over the phone as well, too, because we want it to be accessible to everybody. So if you want to give us a call, we can process that for you. The lines are open now for that 07491 25,000. I anticipate there will be a rush towards the end of the week. So if you're going to get a ticket, now's a nice quiet time to do so. 07491 25,000. We can process that, give you the number. Every number is in the draw drum, the trombola. I never heard the word trombola since we started doing this. It was a draw drum for me. But anyway, there you go. New words. And if you want to call in to us as well, we can sort that out as well. Not everyone wants to use a card, and we want to make sure they're accommodated as well. We're at the Mountaintop in Letterkenny. Call in and we'll sort you out that way too. But as I say, there'll be a rush towards the end of the week, and it doesn't take a huge rush to tie up resources, so make sure you get it nice and early, like today, for an example, if you wish, because it's a bit quieter now, and we can push that... we can push that for you, and then you've got your ticket in your back pocket for the big draws on Friday. Lee Gooch's show, wonder what time he'll do it at. Probably between 8:30 and 9 if I know the Goocher. Do you think I'll be asked to come in and help him? Might do. Yeah, might do that if he wants me to. And then we have the big one then, the big 10 grand given away on Friday during this show. And actually, while I'm here, just to mention as well, because it's all very exciting, very shortly thereafter, we are going to hop over to London because we are broadcasting live from the London Vintage Show, which is an event that runs annually. And we've been there last year, and I think we were there once pre-COVID. It's a fantastic day out, by the way. If anyone's over in London or in and around it and can get over there, I think it's £10 to get in. But there's tractors, there's machinery, there is animals that are there shearing. There's some fantastic... I can't think of the words, you know, where you make wool and all. What do you call that? All those kind of displays. It's a wonderful day in a massive facility. There's no worrying about parking, by the way. Then there's a massive stage and a big wooden dance floor in the front of it. There was in previous years. And the weather's looking really good for it as well. So I think quite a few people from Donegal go over for that. So when we're there, we're broadcasting on Sunday between 12 and 2. Come and say hello, because we'll be streaming the show back to the radio station and broadcasting out on social media. If you're over in London, come over and say hello, or make your way to it, because it is a wonderful event, and it's just like a little pocket of Ireland in the heart of London, and we can't wait to get over there. We're broadcasting on Sunday between noon and 2. Might call it the noon to 2 show from London. But anyway, no, we're there from noon till 2, and we're going to have who else is going to be there? Neve's going to be with us, of course. Kevin's going to be there as well, doing the technical stuff. So we really want to see you all, and come over and say hello as well, because I love meeting people. So please come over and say hello to us as well. All right, that's letting you know everything that's going on. More about that later in the week.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate holiday loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Where's the party? Bundoran presents Ireland's biggest indoor dancing festival, the World Matchmaking Festival, in 4 venues for 10 days, 10 nights, September 29th to October 8th. Starring 35 bands, including the Tumbling Paddies, Derek Ryan, David James, Declan Nerney, plus blind date and speed dating. Book now for accommodation and entertainment package deals. Log on to showtours.ie or call 0818 300 888. Meet your match in Bundoran. Very special guest from Lisdoonvarna, the world-famous matchmaker Willie Daly.
If you're tired and struggling to put a spring in your step, discover the power of Revive Active at your local Brennan's Pharmacy. Revive Active is an award-winning super supplement containing 26 active ingredients, including vitamin C, D and zinc, which support your immune system, all in one handy daily sachet. Made for busy, stressful lives, it's the convenient way to put back what life takes out. Enrich your life with the Revive Active from Brennan'sPharmacy.com. We're here for you.
Discover Cooney's Home Interiors, where your dream space comes to life. See it, love it, own it. Our suites, tables, beds and accessories are all ready to impress. With fast delivery to your door, your perfect home is just a visit away. Cooney's Home Interiors, your style, your way.
Hi folks, Paul McDevitt here, inviting you to join myself and Jimmy Stafford this Monday night for another edition of the Monday Night Sessions. This week we welcome back our good friends to band singer-songwriter Gav Kelly. Busking Festival runner-up, the amazing Jessica McKean from St Johnson will also be joining us. 16-year-old Dara Maguire from Pettigo will also be performing his brand new song, and rapper Callum Murphy from Letterkenny will also be dropping by for a bit of a rap. So that's the Monday Night Sessions this Monday night between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. right here on Highland Radio.
Okay, Councillor Paul Canning joins us now. Paul, good morning to you. How are you keeping?
Good morning, Greg. I'm a little bit under the weather. I had a hectic weekend. We were in the Calais Fest, and we probably overstayed our welcome, you know.
But there's no shame in that game, Paul. No shame in that game. You have to meet your people, man.
Well, my throat knows about it today. You know.
All right. You weren't singing.
No, I wasn't singing. No,
All right, okay. Well, listen, on Friday there was an important meeting, wasn't there, Paul? Tell us about it.
Yeah, the planners of Donegal County Council met with all of the agents and architects that will be putting in applications in relation to the defective block scheme. So Ewan Kwon, who is the senior planner within Donegal County Council, decided to bring all of us into the one room, and also to bring the planners into the one room, so that when we are putting in for applications, that we are all on the same hymn sheet.
And this will obviously streamline it, and also really, because what we're talking about here is, as much as is possible, we know what these families are going through. It's to lessen the burden on them, I presume.
Oh, very much so. It's to make it easier for everybody to get through the process, because the process there'll be a lot of red tape involved in the process. But at least if the architect from the offset gets it right from the start, it will make it easier, because there is scenarios out there that people will not realise is there until they actually get into the nuts and bolts of it. We will have situations where people 10 or 20 years ago would have been building their house, and maybe for one reason or another, they might have had to relocate it. Maybe they had very serious rock, or maybe they had a very soft spot in the site, and they shifted that house maybe a couple of metres and didn't realise that this scenario will ever come across. So what'll happen there, then they will actually have to apply for retention of that house first before they get on the scheme. So they have to ratify everything that's needed first before they actually can get on the scheme, and that also applies for their septic tank and percolation area, or maybe their site entrance mightn't be exactly where it's at. So those people will have to apply for retention of that while they're also applying for demolition. But in fairness to the planning team, they say you can do it all in the one application. So whenever you're putting in your application, if you are going for a change of house type, you can actually retain, apply to demolish, and apply to build in the new. That's sort of where we're trying to streamline it.
Right. So, whilst in explaining it, it does sound incredibly convoluted and complicated, and it's just the system. It's not your explanation. In reality, it's been set in such a way now that it will be as simple as possibly could be in the planning process.
Yeah, it is. And in fairness to Ewan and the planning team, there will be individual cases, and he's going to, the planners are going to be sympathetic to the applicant and are going to work their way through the system as easy and cleanly as possible.
Having had a chance to sort of look at it, the workings of it, the potential workings of it, what's your feelings on it now? The scheme and how it will work and operate. Not necessarily whether it will achieve 100%, because that's or if you want to comment on that, that's up to you. But I mean, how do you think in real terms this is going to work for people who can work with it?
I think the quicker that we get down to actually getting at the scheme and get the right team in place within Donegal County Council and within the housing department, it'll be like any other scheme. Whenever you're going for ordinary planning or you're going for a fire certificate or any of that, the easier that you try to make it, and it's easier the whole way through. The situation is, if we get it right, people, in fairness to people there some people are downsizing. I know they're not getting the financial benefit for downsizing, but they're also there. If you are doing a house in and around 2,000 square foot, and you go and you get your planning permission for change of house type, you're in a situation then where you're getting over 400,000, and that will still build you a very good house, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And that's where we need to get. We need to get our head around it first, and then start looking at it from a positive position, that we have an opportunity here to change our house and to design a house that maybe suits us. Maybe our children now are of an age that they've moved out of the house, and maybe we don't need the 2 or 3 sitting rooms or the bigger house that we can. That'll not suit everybody.
No, I accept that that's your point of view, and we're coming to the end of the programme, we'll not get into it, but I also want to recognise too that's again a compromise that people might have to make, that they feel they shouldn't have to make. But as I say, we'll not get into that. I know that's your view, and you've expressed that. All right, Councillor Canning, thank you very much indeed. That is Councillor Paul Canning, 08660 25,000. A caller observed over the weekend that out of 6 disabled spaces in a public car park, there was only one car which displayed a blue disabled parking badge. Right, okay. Shouldn't be the case. Shouldn't be the case at all. Letterkenny University Hospital is a disgrace. 3 years ago, treated like a leper and won't be going back. I thought I had COVID, made light outside in corridors, was told they'd be out. Not once. I cried with pain, and at 5 a.m, got a bed, lay in. Nobody came near me. Had to scream to get someone to come, as no buzzer in the room. Turns out I hadn't got COVID. The topic on your radio station about Letterkenny Hospital and about having no money. Why the hell did they give the car park money away to another company instead of using it for the hospital? As that lady said on the radio, the management of the hospital couldn't run a bath. She's definitely right. If Lynn McDevitt, who was on with us on Friday, well worth listening back to that interview. If Lynn McDevitt stands for the Dáil, I'll vote for her for sure. Lynn was saying, look at, the people that have influence need to start exercising that. Well said, Lynn, says another. Hi, Greg. I agree 100% what Lynn said on the programme on Friday. I've been a few times and it's disgraceful what's happening in Letterkenny Hospital. Nurses or healthcare assistants out and out patients taking blood pressure in front of everyone and asking you medical history. How degrading for the patient. On one of the nights I was there, I seen at least 6 people get up and go home. One gentleman was called to go in 3 times and sent back out again. He went home as well. Lynn is right. My husband died in Letterkenny University Hospital, went in after a fall, told me to go home. He was okay, sleeping, but he was in a coma. I didn't know any different. He died a few hours later. That is just heartbreaking. Greg Lynn was 100% right. The Minister for Health should spend a day in the emergency department. Another, can you please read out? I was in last Monday, was needing urgent brain scan, no beds, and I'm still waiting for that scan. Fair play to Lynn. I have 2 elderly parents, one with dementia and a mobile from a stroke 2 years ago, and the other who just recently received a terminal cancer diagnosis. Have spent many, many hours in the ED over the past few years. Most staff are lovely and helpful, but my God, there doesn't seem to be any sense with the way things are run. The horror that it strikes in my parents when they are told they have to go to the hospital. Another, the problem with the ED is that they keep sending people home only to have to start the waiting process over and over again. Caller states a family member has been sent home and readmitted 4 times in the past month. The President Minister for Health talks a great game, says this listener, but he hasn't or isn't delivering. Just look at the new Children's Hospital. Let me see. I want to stay on topic here. Totally agree with Lynn talking about the ED. We witnessed, there's a fly in this room. It's like that episode of Breaking Bad. It won't leave me alone. Totally agree with that lady talking about ED. We witnessed how bad it was in there with an elderly parent. Only for we kept speaking up, she would still be there. Felt sorry for vulnerable people that don't have anyone speaking for them. Staff were brilliant, but it's a management problem. Money's been thrown into a black hole. Unless it is utilised and managed properly, it's a waste of funding. Communication there is a major problem. My parent was told a scan was needed. After 36 hours, she got a bed. When we inquired about the scan, she was not on a list because particularly this particular scan is not done at weekends. She used up a bed for that weekend, and after several phone calls to ensure she was on a list, she eventually got scanned and was then discharged. So that was one bed that should have been freed up over the weekend if things were managed properly. This is only one common problem with a simple solution. A better system needs to be used, even an intercom to call patients. It would be interesting if a survey was taken on how much time is wasted for doctors walking around calling out names looking for a patient, and on it goes. Thank you very much for all of your calls and comments coming in this morning. I really do appreciate it. Any that we didn't get to, as you know, we'll carry them over to tomorrow because they're all incredibly valuable. Thanks to Caroline Orr, who researched and produced. Niamh Shields working on the show, looking after the social media and what have you as well. Really appreciate the efforts of both. Stay tuned. John Breslin's coming up around the northwest after